Hello, everyone.
Good evening.
Hey, Lee, how you doing?
I thought I was having a disco show going on while that music was playing. I was looking at my camera down in the basement feed, and it was sitting there flashing like
I
weird
saw
light.
those LEDs going off. I thought you had a club going on over there,
I,
Club
I don't have no
Beekeeping.
LEDs though. I don't know what was going on. I was trying to figure it out.
I don't know. I thought you had your like the LEDs were changing cover.
Nah,
Whoa, let
I
me.
covered the camera up and moved my hand, and then it was straight again.
Hey, Josh, Phil,
William,
DC, Dry Cut, and Tom. How y'all doing tonight? We're just chilling. So today was kind of a interesting day. What'd you do in your bee yard today? We'll say that first because I did a live. Most people could have seen mine.
uh, I went through 3 of my 4 yards today, and my number 1 yard here in my backyard. I popped a couple of lids, and I hadn't been out there too much lately. Hadn't put no peppermints on, and popped the lid on one of them. I had about 10 hive beetles run out.
So,
I was
so,
playing whack a mole with beetles.
so what you're saying is you noticed an increase when you didn't have peppermints in there.
Exactly. So I threw peppermints back in.
Well,
After that, I went to my number 4 yard, which is my new yard this year. I've kept it loaded with peppermints, and it's actually about 40, 50 foot into the woods under a bunch of trees. So it should be hive beetle haven. I opened the lid on 5 different hives, not one hive beetle.
see, my bigger colonies don't. But so I did a live today. As per everyone's suggestion last night, I went ahead and started introducing Jose's queens to the splits, right? To the 2-frame mini nukes. And when I went back out there this afternoon, I see visible beetles walking around in the boxes. So I don't know if I'm going to say they didn't come from the mothership. I'm going to say they smelled the stuff inside of the new colonies, right? And came in. That's the only thing I can figure because I don't see them in the bigger colonies. So as the pictures I showed you, wasted no time, y'all. No time putting peppermints in these 2-frame nukes today.
In fact, I'll pull that up for you.
And we did figure out that a 5-frame nuke will fit over 2-frame nukes side by side. Hey, Grammy. So we did figure. You flash some things up there so quick they probably can't even see.
No, I was trying to bring the picture up, and I took one picture off and brought the other one up, and it didn't show up.
Yep. So they're in there eating some peppermint, and we got them all beetled up, and it looks like they're doing well. We'll see. You know, it's all experiment. But I did take. I think it was DC sent me an email and said, "Hey, if that nuke fits over top, why don't you put a queen excluder on 2 of them side by side? Put the nuke on top, and then he said a frame feeder, but you remember that little feeder, the plastic one I was showing you I just got?
Yeah.
I put that in there over on top of the queen excluder. So like half of that opening is on one side and half of it's on the other side so they can get up in there. And, but they can get up anyway because they can just come through the queen excluder. But because there's a top on it, they can't get in it from the top. They have to come in it from the bottom. So I did a little bit of footage on the GoPro today. So I'm going to try to see tomorrow what it looks like in there if they're using it. Was it you? Dave sent it to me. Sometimes I get confused between my emails, people's names, and their YouTube names. Was it UDC? Otherwise, I'll say their name. Dave Rush said it. Dave Rush sent me the email.
Yeah,
I thought that was
Jay, I made it, I think, about the last 15 minutes last night of the stream?
Well, hey, man.
I was running late.
LaGrange, do us a favor and sting that thumbs up button on the way in, please. That helps us out a little bit on the algorithm. And I got one of my early birthday presents from my stepdaughter. If you see the hat, Walker's Bee Ranch, Hopkins, South Carolina. I do have confirmation Ricky will be here in the morning, and I'm excited about that. But even more excited about my nephew's coming to work bees with me tomorrow, because he's never worked bees before. So I'm excited about, Ricky coming for sure, but I'm excited.
Remind him to bring his bee suit with him?
No, I didn't. Hopefully he remembers to bring his bee suit, because we're going queen hunting for him tomorrow. So where typically what I would do is cage the queen the night before and then leave her on the frames, right? But if something happened and he couldn't make it at the last minute, then I have to go back out there and then re-release her, and it would be a whole thing. So I figured now that I know he's coming, when he gets here, we'll go out there to Colony, find a queen, cage it up. And I can't give him Jose's queens, because Jose's queens don't come with attendants in the box, right? So I would have to basically give him 2 queens in a box and shake a bunch of nurse bees in it too for him to carry home. It would have to be a whole thing. I also, if you notice the farmer suspenders here, I also took Mike from Coon Lake Hive's suggestion and get some coveralls to help with bee stings. I did take a couple stings today, but not really on my legs. I took one on my hand when I was out there, because a couple of the queen cages had fallen down through the frames and were sitting in the bottom. And DC, that's what I did. I put that frame feeder, or not a frame feeder. I put the that plastic in-hive feeder that I was showing you guys that I got at Blythewood Bee Company. I put the queen excluder on. I put a 5-frame deep nuke box on there, and then I put that in there and put some probably 3/4 to 1 syrup in it, just so they could get something if they needed it, just as a trial to see how it works out. If it works, we'll leave it that way, or see, you work with it and see what happens. But if it brings a bunch of robbers to the yard or in there, then that won't be a good thing. Yeah, that little plastic one fits inside a 5-frame. That's why I was kind of excited to try it out. There was a couple of bees in there. I did go back out this evening when I was, fixing those cages, and any colonies that were light, I went out to 5-frame nukes that I had stacked 5 over 5. I had 1 frame in the middle of brood. So the nurse bees would come up, and I would just carry that over, take the lid off 2 of them and shake it over both of them. So each of them would get a little bit of extra bees, and then put the covers back on them.
All right.
So, hey, Sarah.
Catch up on comments.
Yeah, they're scrolling through pretty good. Hey, Sarah, I'm not, no pressure, but you said, I think it was you that said you were ordering a shirt the other day, and I never saw. I'm just saying I didn't see it come in the back office, so I was just checking to see if I needed to contact them, if they're screwing me out of some money or something. Then I need to check. But if you didn't place the order, then all good, no worries. I just wanted to make sure that it was doing what it was supposed to be doing. So the hive beetles, they will start ramping up like in the next month or so. That's usually their time, right? When the bees start diminishing and the beetles start strengthening up.
Sarah, you got the shirt on Tuesday.
Okay, so she had ordered hers when Phil Fermana ordered his, right? So, all right, so it was other people that said they were ordering. I forget. I don't know. I forget. Not that important, to be honest with you, but I appreciate the orders. So yeah, that's what's been going on. Should we drop a link?
Got it ready now. Well,
All right,
let me
let's do
double
that
check
then.
to make sure. Drop that link and then pin it to the top of the comments.
And I'll wait for it to come up over here and I'll pin it. And we will pin the message. There we go. So we're ready to talk bees, y'all. Let's go. Let's do it. Forgot all about it. Yeah, it makes you take a picture for some reason, which I had to take a picture when I ordered my own. So it's not that big a deal. I guess it's just an anti-fraud thing, but it doesn't do it on every shirt for some reason. But so tomorrow, Lee, you should watch the chat from last night. Bob was bad mouthing you.
Oh.
Yeah, what I said was,
I'm gonna have to click this little button right here that says "Kick from Studio."
I said, man, it's going pretty good. Maybe we don't let Lee come in more often.
Yeah, the screen probably looked a little bit better anyway.
Yeah, sure, William. William said he'll come in about 15 minutes.
It sounds good. Like having more people in here.
You know what? I'm so glad so many people came on last night, because that would have been it would have been a short one. If nobody would have joined, I'd have been like, well, hey guys, nice meeting with y'all. I just want to stop in, and I would have been out because, and it was just when you've got someone like when me and Lee are here, we can talk to each other. If nobody's coming in, I can talk to Lee. We can talk about bees, and you guys can just watch. But when you're by yourself, I'm only talking to you guys and answering questions. And, it's not as easy, really not as easy to do. That's why the group format is so much better.
I like it letting the other people come in with us. I mean, it gives them an opportunity to kind of get their face shown out there, promote their channel.
Absolutely. We had who did we have on last night? Was it Larry? Mr. Larry?
Was that Grandy or Gandy?
Gandy, yeah.
I thought I remembered seeing the name.
Hopefully he gained some subscriber. Was it Gandy? He got subscribed. Gandy Beekeeping with a capital G, capital B. Well, he gained 9 subs yesterday, at least. Mr. Larry Gandy. Now, here's what I'm talking about with YouTube, guys. If you only watch the guys that have 25, 30, 50, 70,000 subs or whatever, if those are the only guys you watch. Hey, Rick, there's somebody new. Hey, Rick.
Hey, what's up?
Not much. How you doing tonight?
I'm all right.
You make YouTube content?
I haven't made any videos yet. I'm really not someone who likes to be on film or whatever.
Hey, I've got my mentor. He'll shoot a whole hour video and you'll never see his face at all. It'll be cut off. It'll be cut off. So, yeah, you should do it, man. It's not that hard. Just point and shoot the camera or your phone and get a clip and upload it.
Where are you from, Mr. Rick?
What's that?
Where are you from?
Indiana.
Okay.
So what kind of temperatures you guys having right now?
We're kind of mild. I mean, usually it's in the 70s, but it's gotten down to the 60s here recently. And got a lot of rain.
Yeah, it was like that for us last week, where it was kind of actually earlier in the week, it would hit 65, 60s. And then back in the day, it'd be high 70s, mid 80s.
I'm getting tired of switching the furnace back and forth from air conditioning to furnace.
Right. Run the bills up.
Yep. Heck, our tonight's low is 70.
70 is lowest you've been?
That's for tonight. Now we hit about 90, 91 today. But instead of having that 95% humidity, we was actually down around 50% today. So it was a little more comfortable.
I've got 82 right now.
Like 66 here today. So it was a good day if you wanted to do any outside work.
Yeah.
How many colonies do you have currently, Rick?
3, possibly 5.
You sound like me. When someone asks me about my colonies, it's more like I'm playing spades. You know, how many books do you got? Well, I got, 32 and a possible, or it's always changing.
Yeah, so. Yeah. I just got them this year, and the ones I had last year, the hive. Well, I had 2 hives. One got robbed out by the other because I made a mistake. But that's how you learn, by making mistakes. And so this year I got 3 packages, and I got them installed. I haven't seen a single beetle because I've been using a peppermint. And they're all doing well, but I'm thinking I'm going to go out and split them, do a split real quick. I hate to do that because they're kind of low in numbers right now. But I thought, I might as well try it.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing right now. And I made a huge idiot moment mistake today too that I didn't think about till like right before this video. Lee and I were sitting here talking, and I said, you know what? I made the biggest bonehead move today. I had 2 of these mini mating nukes that I've been working with that have they had capped queen cells in them, and I don't have enough mated queens to fill up all of the mating nukes that I had. But when I was going through, I was doing them in order, and I was making sure that there was no queen cells, and I just killed the 2 queen cells on there, and instead of just leaving them alone and going on to the next boxes and going on from there, I ended up wiping out 2 queen cells that would have hatched in the next week, and they'd have been good to go. But yeah, so we all do it. And I went back in this colony that I released a queen into today, and Lee, I didn't see her when I went back through there. And so I ended up setting another box in there and just letting them take her out now.
That's why I like marking mine. Even though, I don't have to. It's just for some reason, if I am looking for her, it makes it a lot easier.
Well, it's not hard to find her when there's 2 frames and only one of them's drawn. So she's only going to be on that frame or walking around the box, right?
Yeah. So. Now, as far as marking, I hadn't tried these new markers yet, but those Posca or whatever they call them, I've been using them since I started bees. And I find every couple of months I might have to put another little dab on top of her because it wears off. I just marked that new queen, I don't know what, 4 weeks ago on that split with the yellow racing stripe, and it's already wearing off. You could barely see it today. So I bought those competitive advanced markers. They said it's supposed to be a 6-year outdoor life on them.
Yeah, but does it have a stipulation on there, 6-year outdoor life with thousands of bees trying to eat it off your back?
Well, I figure if it's 6 years outdoor in the elements,
right,
it being inside the hive away from the elements, it should be about the same. So I'm probably go back out there either tomorrow or Sunday and remark her with this new pen and see how that does.
And I also wonder how it works. The pen would work if you, how dry you let her get before you release her. Because I see you marked her, and then you put her back in there. So she's not all the way dry when you put her back in there.
Yeah. Well, it probably wasn't all the way dry, but the next time that I went in the hive, I could still see the mark on her pretty decent. So, it wasn't like they really tried to rub it off, but I guess just over the few weeks now, it's wearing down.
You just use Krylon.
Just paint her wings, huh?
Just paint the whole thing. She won't ever fly. You won't have to worry about her flying off.
Yeah. Where are you at, Lee?
South Louisiana, right near Baton Rouge.
Okay.
Sourwood Bee Farm says he uses a Sharpie paint marker from Walmart. He says it works great. Marker and drop her right back in the hive. That's a good idea. I never thought about that.
Yeah, because I'm sure it's cheaper than these things. I think these run about $8 or $9 a piece.
Yeah, and you know what? If you're using one color a year, by the time you get to, if you buy the set, by the time you get to the 5th year, I wonder if it's even any good anymore.
Yeah, I bought the whole
Even if
set
it's
back
sealed
there.
up. But I don't have to worry about these too much unless I'm making a poster or something. But Jose sent me some marked ones today, so I do have some marked queens. Some of the queens.
You ain't gonna know what to do. You open up and see a little colored dot running around in there now.
Yeah, I still probably won't find her. Still probably won't be able to find her. But now, this is going to be very interesting with these two. Okay, so originally when I did these 2-frame nukes, I was not planning to put a mated queen in there. It was my intentions to make walk-away splits with eggs and let them raise a queen, which buys me about a month, right? So now, in a month, 3 weeks to a month from now, they should be laid up with eggs and cat brood in a 2-framer. So now I'm going to have to start taking that cat brood out and moving it to keep her from swarming out of the box, right? Out of 2-frame boxes. So, or I guess I could take 30 colonies, take a frame of brood, make 10 nukes. I mean, I guess I could do that and try to grow them up. I either got a bee or a big old fly over here in the house.
Probably one of them murder hornets.
Yeah, these.
Pretty big.
I got the numbers too. I got the numbers to mark the queen, which is probably what I'll start doing.
So you're going to grab the queen and you got to put that thing on a toothpick and put glue on her back, right? And then you stick that thing on her?
It comes with a glue, but most people that I've heard using them says wood glue works best.
Really?
Yeah. They say take a toothpick and just a little drop of wood glue on it. Now, another way that you can mark them without having to try to fumble around with them, if you catch them, put them in a Ziploc bag. I know it sounds bad, but you use carbon dioxide gas and pump the gas in for like 5 seconds. I mean, that's kind of how they inseminate.
That's how they inseminate them, put them to sleep.
But you can put them to sleep like that and then put the number on them.
Oh, wow.
In fact, I've been looking at all the parts to get that little setup.
The inseminator?
I'm thinking about that also, but that's about $2,000 just for that little metal contraption. But I'm looking at the tanks and the gauges and everything to knock them out to do any marking or inseminating.
Tom said he did walk away splits. They were small, couple small queens, hard to see. Yeah. So that was the thing. And what I've been doing is I've been ordering queens in bulk. And I get a price break on them. And then, when people need queens, they come buy them from me and I make a little bit of money on them. I mean, a little bit. It's not even really, honestly, it's not, unless you have a lot of people buying queens, it's not even worth the risk of the queen dying in the bank to hold them. To get if you're making $12 a queen, and it dies, you've lost $28. You know what I mean? To make $12. So you have to be able to move them, or you got to have a place to put them.
Yeah, because if you don't put them someplace, they're going to either die or fly off.
What is your opinion on sea Kyle? What is sea Kyle, Billy? I don't know. I don't know what sea Kyle is. I'm not sure what that is. But
I was hoping Hillbilly would be on here tonight.
He's probably lurking around.
I'm sure he'll be in here somewhere, either in the comments or he'll jump in on the stream every now and then with us.
I like to talk to him.
We like to talk to him too.
He's funny.
So I came up with an idea, and you guys, we've talked about Earl shirts before.
Yeah.
So. You know how they've got that Duck Dynasty shirt with Uncle Si's face on it, right?
Yeah.
But when Earl does his video with his cowboy hat on and his sunglasses or his glasses and his long beard, We need to put that on.
I thought he had that shirt.
No, that he's got Uncle Si's shirt, but we need to make him a knockoff shirt that is the hillbilly dynasty shirt.
You're gonna
or Peppermint Dynasty.
You got to come up with a good name like the Peppermint King or something.
We could just knock off Duck Dynasty all the way together and just call it either Hillbilly Dynasty or Peppermint Dynasty.
There you go. Yep.
And
I don't know. Someone said last night the Oracle, the Peppermint Oracle.
Peppermint Oracle.
Yeah.
We could. Oh yeah, we could do a Matrix one.
Yeah, I thought that would be cool.
That has Hillbilly standing up there like the Matrix, when it's got Neo on there. We can do it. All right, how to keep a queen alive for the Peppermint Pimp. That's what Larimore said.
There you go.
How to keep a queen alive for a long time. You know, I've got some queens out there that have been alive for 3 years. I mean, ever since I've started, I've got a couple original ones out there. It's
now,
just
Eamon talking about in general, just keeping them alive, or banking on and keeping them alive.
That's a good question. I think for longevity, if you're just keeping them in the colony, is just keeping them healthy, keeping the colony healthy, where they have
mites down, the beetles down.
Yeah. Or what's Cayman say? What's his moniker? Low mites, good nutrition.
Good queens, low mites, good nutrition, something like that. Hey, we got William down here.
What's up?
Hey, how's it going?
It's going. Oh, you're out of town still. When you going home?
Yeah, I'm still in Cordele. I don't know, maybe Monday if I'm lucky, or Tuesday, something like that.
Now you got to work over the weekend?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's usually how it was when I went out of town for work. They want to get every bit of work they can out of you, right?
Yeah, normally not on Memorial Day, but you know.
Right. That's what I was about to say. If you were not working this weekend, you probably got a rental car or something up there. I was going to tell you to jump in the truck and come on over, man, because we're gonna have Ricky Rourke here tomorrow.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm going to be slaving away.
Hey, I like your hive tool, by the way.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I've got some other.
There you go, Larimore. Larimore, so I keep flashing the sign. I'm the pimp assistant.
Hey, what I did was I got the soft peppermints this time. I saw somebody in the comments said that it works. Now, I bet you they can eat it a lot faster.
I'm sure.
So yeah. We'll see how it goes. But I bought a bag from Tractor Supply when I was getting my coveralls. And they
got a good idea here.
Real Men of Genius shirt, hillbilly holding the peppermint.
I took that pollen patty with Hive Alive in it and smashed up some peppermint candy and put it all in that.
It'll probably work well.
I think how Hillbilly had some of his pollen sub. He had peppermint just smashed straight into it. It seemed to work pretty good.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking. That Hive Alive is pretty good, and I've got those pollen patties, so why not just go ahead and put the peppermint right in the pollen patty?
Hey, Matt.
Hey, Matt, sir.
You don't have to worry about small hive beetles. Count your blessings.
That was a big plus, getting rid of those hive beetles.
And I'll tell you what, I mean, those 2-frame nukes, when I went in today, I saw more hive beetles in my 2-frame nukes today than I've seen in all my other colonies.
You didn't have peppermint in those, did you?
Not till today.
Yeah.
So they're going. They said, we don't smell the peppermint over here.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Sorry about the loud motorcycle going down the road. You guys probably just heard.
I've heard that peppermint and wintergreen will kill a beetle.
I think they both have, from what I get, is listening to Hillbilly, he says that the spearmint has menthol in it, but it doesn't have the rosmaric acid in it or something like that, which is why they use peppermint.
Okay.
So
what surprised me today, my number 1 yard, it gets a lot of sun. I opened up some of the hives in there today that I hadn't put peppermint on lately. And one of the hives, as soon as I opened it, I had 10 beetles sitting on top. But my new yard, which is right here, about 40 to 50 foot off of a gravel driveway into the woods, I thought would have more beetle problem. Out of all 5 of those hives, I didn't have one beetle in there today.
Well, count your blessings. I would have loaded them up anyway just to make
Oh
sure
yeah,
they stayed up.
I still added more peppermint to them just to make sure. But I did treat the ground there too before I even put the stands or the hives there.
I'll tell you one thing I like about those softer peppermints, the round ones, you can actually break them real easy in your fingers and they crumble down in the, and then the crumbles, I just let them go to the bottom of the colony.
I may have to try them because everything I'm running now is migratory lids. I still have a couple of the old telescopic lids with the inner cover, but all my migratories, I don't run the inner cover. So if I put the hard peppermint candy on top of the frames, the lid won't set all the way down. I'm having to drop them between the frames.
Well, what I noticed is the ones that like they were too big and the migratory lid wouldn't go in with the soft, I could actually put some pressure on it and they would just, you could hear them like shave off of the edges and go down in there or crush down in there.
Yeah. Yeah, the soft peppermints, I think if I set them on the top bars and then put that migratory cover on, it would just break apart like that and fall in where it needs to.
So, William, how are you managing your colonies being out of town all the time?
I don't know. They're probably just all going to swarm on me.
I mean,
I don't know. We'll have to see.
Well, I mean, so you're usually home on the weekends, right?
Usually I've got the weekends off. Yeah, this is a little abnormal. We're just trying to finish up a project here in Georgia.
And then once you're done with that and go back home, you'll be able to probably, you can work them in the evening, right?
Assess the damage. Very rarely. Even if I'm working in the office, it's about an hour from my house. So.
Oh, I got you.
And I work pretty long hours, so it's pretty unlikely that I get to work them in the evenings or anything. So I pretty much have to just basically leave it to the weekends.
And well, hopefully you won't have any issues, and you just send your daughter out there and say, hey, go ahead and make this split, move that. She knows. She knows the difference between the big bees and the little bees. She knows what to do.
She may have a little trouble lifting the supers off, but maybe her brother can help her or something. I don't know.
Yeah, William, you froze up there for a second.
Yeah, have a good night, Rick. Thank you for coming in.
Oh, sorry, am I back now?
Yeah, you're back. We can hear you. Your image was frozen a bit, but
Oh, I got you. Yeah, the hotel internet has been really good as far as I actually went and edited a video that I probably wasn't going to post at all, but since I'm not going to be home on Saturday, I was like, well, I guess I better try to find some stuff on the computer to edit. You know what I mean? And it uploaded like wicked fast. Compared to what I'm used to.
I noticed you started stepping your footage game up too. It's like you got that camera on the stand that you had on the swing arm to do the far away.
Man, I'm trying.
It's looking good, man. You're doing good.
I'm trying. It's
a learning curve.
Yeah, I'm trying to play around with thumbnails and trying to learn I'm trying to learn a different thing each time I edit. You know what I mean? If I can. Let me think. So I just edited a video that I probably wouldn't have even posted had I gone home this weekend because I would have hopefully filmed something a little more interesting. But I went ahead and edited it, and I played around with zooming in, taking the frame and then zooming in to try and show where the queen was or whatever. I don't know how to. Some people will do a little circle or something. I don't know how to do that yet, or I don't think my software will do it. Maybe, I don't know. I tried to download a software on the computer, but it won't run it. So,
well, if you use TubeBuddy, it has a little thumbnail creator.
Oh, does it?
And you can take a still out of your video. So a lot of times, if you see I don't do all the extravagant thumbnails, but it'll let you add text and stuff. But you can watch video, and if there's one spot like you're holding up a frame or something, showing something, you can just pause the video and capture it, that screenshot, and that'll be
Gotcha.
your thumbnail. And then you can edit the lettering and stuff on it if you choose to.
Yeah, so like I made a thumbnail for one of my older videos, the one about the swarm up in the tree. I made that here recently. Yeah, that looks nicely. I made that here recently, and I literally had to like just pause the video and then like screenshot with my computer and then like resize it, and you know what I mean? I'm doing the best I can trying to figure it out.
What software are you using?
As far as for video editing, I've been using just iMovie.
Does it have the option to export a frame?
I haven't figured it out if it does.
The other thing you can do, what I used to do is, I don't know if you're using iMovie. Do you have I know you got a Windows computer. Do you have PowerPoint?
Yeah, I should have PowerPoint on this computer. I'm on a Windows computer right now for this. But I stole my wife's computer that I bought her when we were in college, and I've been editing on this Mac. But it doesn't have enough memory, and so I've got this thumb drive, which also doesn't have enough memory. So I have to make a video and then like delete a bunch of stuff to where I can download the video. But I bought a terabyte external memory deal, like the little blocks, and you run a little USB cord to it. So I won't have that problem anymore. But eventually I need to get a computer that'll actually run some type of editing software. I was going to try one. I forgot what it was called. I downloaded it. Let me see if I can see.
What I used to do before I figured it out is I just used PowerPoint, and I do
have PowerPoint. Yeah.
I would just make a slide with the images and, editing the text and everything. And then you can save that slide as a picture, as a JPEG, and then upload the JPEG as a thumbnail.
And William, get a chance. I just looked up. They got a video on YouTube. It's how to export a frozen frame from iMovie. So basically, you can stop your video and export that single frame.
Oh yeah, that'd be handy. See, I was gonna try to figure out how to do that from iMovie today, but I had already deleted the video that I wanted to pull the still frame from to update the thumbnail because I don't have enough memory on that thumb drive. So I'd already deleted it. So that's why I had to like play the video and then pause it in YouTube and then do a bunch of gymnastics. Yeah. But it looks better than it did, I think. So it is what it is.
It's all a learning curve, and not only a learning curve, but then it gets to be, well, how much time do I really want to put into editing a video? I don't waste you guys can tell by my videos, I don't waste a bunch of time in editing.
I don't either. Basically, I'll play my video back after I edit it, and then I'll find one frame that I want. And with Adobe Premiere Pro, I can just export that single frame in HD. And then I just go to Photoshop and add whatever text I want on it.
And I tell you, try to show you guys what I did, but I don't know how.
I've really gotten to the point to where I like doing the live off the GoPro. Yeah, I don't have to edit anything,
Yeah, you seem to have found your little niche or your little thing you're good at, but I'm still working on it myself.
Well, just think, William, if you could sit there and talk to yourself for an hour, and you just, you can do it. You can do it.
Even if I had your charisma and all that, I don't have the internet. I don't have the internet capabilities to go live like that, though.
Yeah, mine
where my house is
skeptical at points. I mean, I was watching that video today, and it was kind of grainy, and it shouldn't have been that grainy. Unless once you start moving the GoPro on a live, then it gets grainy. If I just leave it sit there, then it's usually pretty good.
That signal will kind of go in and out depending where you're moving, and you lose quality, and then it takes a while to come back.
Well, the good thing about that is your viewers like me who don't have good internet won't know if it's you or me.
No, DC.
No, this is what I ended up coming up with for that thumbnail.
That's a good one. That's nice.
I like that one. That looks good.
Oh. Find you the little subscribe thing and pop it on there or something.
Yeah, I've played around with that at the end of the videos. I've got that on one of the videos that I've got scheduled. I've got a couple videos scheduled. I've got one scheduled for, what is today, Friday, for tomorrow morning. I still got emulsion on my face, don't I? Whoops.
Yeah.
I just got out of the shower. I didn't quite get it all off. Trying to do some chip and seal.
Cajun says, as long as you don't start
don't
answering
recommend.
yourself. But I've always
I
heard
do.
if you talk to yourself, you're doing it because you needed expert advice.
Well, guys, I've got years of experience on doing shows like this. Literally, I showed Lee in Houston last night shows that I was doing with crypto, 3-4 years ago, and we used to do them every night of the week, and it was just you get used to it, especially if you're looking at somebody on the camera. I'm just talking to you guys, and then I'll glance over and try to answer questions or something when somebody else is talking. So it's not that bad. It's when you're just by yourself, you might be thinking something, but you have to remember, if you're thinking it and doing it and filming it, I need to be telling y'all what I'm doing too. I can't just be in my own world and you guys just watching bees, right? So yeah. I try to do it, but I make mistakes. Today
I got a bad habit when I'm out there doing recording in the yard. I'll be recording and talking about something, and then I go to move and I forget the camera's even there, and I just kind of have a long space of silence, and I have to go in and edit that back out.
But then you edit it out and you've missed something that might have been interesting, or
it depends. I mean, certain things I might throw in there if it has silence, but I might have an hour worth of video and only post 15 minutes of it, because a lot of times I walked off to do this and do that and forgot about the camera.
I played around with editing out some of those quieter parts in one of the videos I got scheduled as well. But in order to do it, I had to make the video, sync the sound, export it, then put it back into iMovie to where I could start chipping away at it, because otherwise my sound and my video wouldn't be linked. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I did look up to see if there was a way to link them in iMovie, and I couldn't find a way, so I just had to export the video and put it back in.
So I think one of the I'm hearing a little bit of a loop.
Is it me maybe, or
yeah,
I don't have earphones in. I got the sound playing, but I don't have earphones either. Oh my God.
I don't know. It's fine.
Most of the time, DC. Every now and then, Bob pops on certain things up too.
Well, I think the most important thing for new YouTubers, when I say new, I mean smaller channels, when you're trying to get going, you've got to premiere them. There's no other way around it. You've got to premiere them, because not only do you have to get to the subscriber count, but you have to have an astronomical amount of hours watched, right?
No kidding. Yeah, I'm looking at that. I'm like, it's going to take me 2 years at this rate.
So, well, I mean, that's the thing. Everybody's like, well, I'm just going to do a short video. So the problem is, when you do a short video, it don't matter how long your video is, probably only 50% of it at best is getting watched.
Oh, I know. I've looked at the stats. Trust me.
Yeah.
And
it'll show everybody starts watching at this time, and then how it kind of tapers off.
Well, it's really kind of funny to me, because if you're doing a how-to video, like if I'm showing someone how I'm doing a DemArray process, and you don't watch but half of it, you only know half of what I'm doing, and then, yeah, I know. The thing is with the Premiere, guys, honestly, it's not, God, this is going to sound terrible. It's not about you guys even watching the video. It's not. It's because when you come to the Premiere, we're talking in the chat box. Everybody's talking in the chat. And whether you're watching the video or not, YouTube doesn't know that. YouTube assumes that that's watch time. If it's a 20-minute video and we're sitting there having this conversation like we do in our live stream, that's watch time. If it's a 50-minute video and we're talking for 30 minutes, well, I got 30 minutes of watch time on average. Yeah, per person. So that's kind of the thing, is just getting people there and stay. And if you got a lot of watch time on a video, well, then in my mind, YouTube is saying, oh, must be something pretty good. They got a lot of watch time on that video.
Watch time, interaction in the comments.
And it kind of helps you out. And it really helps out when people, like we got 34 people watching. If they just take the second and hit the little thumbs up button, that helps out. It may not maybe you don't like it. I know it's I'll overlook it sometimes, but if you just hit the thumbs up button, a lot of times, even if I don't have time to watch a video, let's say it's a long video and I don't have time to watch it, I'll click it on and let it play. And I'll get up and go get a drink, take the trash out real quick, come back and finish it up, or go back and catch it if I want to. But thing is, I let it play.
I've had times, especially at work, if I get busy doing something, I'll leave it playing and just put it in my shirt pocket and listen to it, kind of like an podcast while I'm working.
And that just helps the YouTuber out, because they're getting that watch time, even though it's not necessarily actual you watching it. It just helps on the stats.
I do the same thing if I like the person, I see their video, but it'd be nearly impossible to watch every single video and really be engaged all the way through for every single person that I want to watch their videos. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because pretty much everyone that's subscribed to me, I'm more or less probably subscribed to them. At least I'd like to be. And then, but if I watch everybody, you see what I mean? It'd be hours and hours of content. So I try to play them when I'm driving and stuff like that. I may not necessarily be able to really watch the entire video and be 100% engaged, but it's still playing. I pick up little bits here and there.
Brad, I do that.
So.
And I just let it roll, It's just trying to help people out, like Gandy Beekeeping Mr. Larry that was on last night, and I seen him in the chat a little while ago. He came on, talked to us for a few minutes, and put his channel up. Again, he's been beekeeping for 35 years, and if you don't know he's there, he hadn't put any videos out in a while. But if you don't know he's there, you won't be able to find him on YouTube. So we need to, I'd hate to miss 35 years worth of experience and watching, learning from somebody just because I didn't know they were there, or because they don't have a huge YouTube following and didn't get that information. So, definitely go check Gandy Beekeeping with the G, the B, and the K all capitalized and all of it smashed together. And, give him, maybe Mr. Gandy will start putting out some more videos. Please, sir.
That's
and
me,
thank you.
M&J. I mean, most of the time I don't watch TV. I turn TV on to fall asleep to, just to have that little noise in the back of my head. But as far as watching it, I don't watch TV really.
I don't even have television.
I've
got
in
a
my
TV, but it's
even in my car
Xbox.
going to work or coming home from work, I don't listen to the radio. I have a CB in my car, and it's wired into my radio. So when I turn it in, my CB's coming through all my speakers.
I watched Obi-Wan last night. Streamed it. But we don't watch like regular TV. It's usually like Netflix, watch a specific thing. And I'm a history buff. I like to watch that Drain the Oceans and stuff like that, where they're finding ships, all kinds of crazy stuff. Yeah, you know what? I hate this. This is going to sound bad too, but it seems like the more subs they get, it's almost like the less beekeeping videos they put out. They don't have to put out as many. They don't, because they drop a video and they get 5,000 views or whatever on one video. And hey, Fermana.
Yeah,
and they don't have to. So I understand it. They've put in the work already, and they got to that point to where they can put out what they want to put out. Right now, I pretty much put out every day, sometimes twice a day, whenever I feel like it. It's dark outside. We're outside on the phone. It don't matter. It's
I'm
just
hoping, since I got a 4-day weekend this time, I can get a little more video work recorded. That way, for all season, dearth season, I can have some videos still be able to upload.
That is a pretty good show. I mean, they kind of kidded it up a little bit, but it's Disney. What can you expect? But Lee, your GoPro goes live.
Yeah, but you got to have 1,000 subs to do that.
You can't go live without having 1,000 subs.
Not that I know of. I was looking at that a while back, and it was saying something to do the live basically from your yard or whatever. That
Right.
way you have to have 1,000 subs. Now I can do just a regular YouTube live without it.
Oh, you talking about live through StreamYard or through GoPro?
Yeah, like we're doing right now. I can do lives without 1,000 subs, but to do it through the camera or somehow, I may be wrong, but it was saying somebody you had to have a certain number of subs for that option to be activated.
I would try it one time just to see, because I mean, I've had 1,000 subs for a while. Before I even got into beekeeping, I had 1,000 subs. I just didn't put out content.
I'm only at 197 right now, so I got a ways if that's the case.
Which is one of the reasons why my channel didn't grow as fast as some other beekeeping channels, is because I kind of switched niches, right? I was doing crypto. I had a bunch of crypto subs. So I was losing crypto subs and gaining beekeeping subs at the same time. So they were just kind of replacing each other. And now we're starting to grow again. So it's pretty good. I'm not complaining.
Let's see if I got that option on here.
Let me see. Speaking of which, let me go to the studio over here on my other computer over here and see where we're standing for the giveaway. I have to refresh it.
Well, maybe according to this, I can.
So I'm still doing that. I'm still gaining a sub, losing a sub here and there. So I'm still at 1850. So I gotta get 150 more subs for the giveaway.
I've got what, 203? No, 303 more.
So, well, hell, we're just okay. So, hey, everybody, let's go raid Sour Branch Bee Farm. Let me make sure I'm subbed, because to be honest with you, I get a lot of people in here. Sourwood. Wood Branch.
I'm going to drop a link to Sourwood's channel here in the comments. Everybody click on that and jump on that sub button in the little notification.
All right. He's got 165 right now. Now he's got 166.
167.
167.
If I open up a different window, will I still stay on the stream in the computer? I'm usually on my phone, but
if you're on the computer, you should.
If you saw my computer, I got about 30 windows open right now.
You can still see me right now then.
Yeah.
Okay, so I can pull up YouTube over here and then search for.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I just dropped a link to his channel in the comments there.
And we got that sub. I'm curious. I'm gonna have to refresh this.
Hey, it's up to 172.
Look at that. You already gained 7 subs. Just that 173. And if you're not subscribed to Lee, he needs like 2 to get to 200. 2 or 3.
No, I need 3 to get to 200. I'm trying to get to that 500 mark. That way I can do a giveaway for that Guardian Bee suit. The Guardian Bee jacket in Vail.
I trashed him last night. I hope you was watching when I was going off on him.
Hey, Sports Scoop.
Yeah, Sports, I think I'm right at about 60 subs right now. I'm growing extremely slow, but
it is such a slow grind. Matter of fact, go to Dry Cut as well. You notice I've been sharing your videos in my community.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I got at least 1 sub off of that, I think, because not too long after you shared it, I did have a subscriber added to my account. So
I wish that helped, DC.
Yeah, it's so weird. Like, we'll do these live streams and it'll have 300-400 views, but yet your sub count don't go up at all. I'm like, But then you go to the next one, you got 300 or 400 views as well. It's like people are checking in and watching, and we appreciate it. But come on, smash that sub button. We need it. We need the help. Who's that behind you, William?
What's that?
Someone, Bobby's B said, "Who's that behind you, William?"
I don't know what he means.
Nobody with you there?
Better not be.
Haunted hotel?
What are you talking about?
You in a haunted hotel?
Somebody hiding behind a curtain, huh?
Yeah, I'm glad you said that because I want to make sure. Yeah, no, since Bob shared that video, I got a subscriber from that. But before that, the video that I made specifically trying to get subscribers, talking about the giveaway, I didn't gain any new subscribers from. You just never know.
Hell, this thing is kind of crazy. YouTube, it'll show you like a higher number in your studio, and then you'll refresh it and it'll show you a lower number, but then you come back tomorrow and refresh it again, it's back to that higher number again. It's
I notice he'll always drop at least one, and then the next
Mm-hmm.
day is back there again.
So never know. Thursday night, last night's live had almost 300 views. Thursday night live.
That's pretty good.
There you go. You see, I like that there.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean,
to me, to a point, the subs do help as far as your mental thinking of it. You're like, hey, people's actually liking what I'm doing. I want to try to do better for them and put out more information and get better.
Yeah, I mean, that was one reason why I stopped making content, was because it just felt like you put up a video and 27 people see it, or 15 people see it, or
hey, that's 9. A decent number. That's a decent number for me.
or 9. You know what I'm saying? But it gets to the point like you are right now. You're like, man, I'm just growing so slow. It's like not even worth it. And the money, guys, is not really worth it. I mean,
hey, William, did you change your logo?
Yeah, I did.
I just noticed that.
I changed it just because, like, on my phone, I could see so small that a lot of people had the same kind of colored logo as me, and I was I couldn't tell who was who when the live chats were going on. So I was like, I'll change it to my little logo I drew up, and there'd be a little bit of a difference in what I'm seeing on the chat.
Yeah.
Sourwood asked, did we have a link to your channel?
Yeah, I just dropped William's link in the comments.
Great.
No, thanks, Lee.
So
do you see that one? I think got about 60 views. Let me check.
The
52 views.
And hey, to make it a bigger slap in the face, even when you get monetized, you're like, oh yeah, monetized, and then you don't make shit. So
I don't know if you can see. Well, I always go the wrong way. That's what the thumbnail used to look like for that video. You know that thumbnail that I showed you?
Yeah.
It was just that box there, how to get stung catching a swarm. And I changed it to that photo that I showed you earlier. So I think that's an improvement, right? I mean,
yeah, it's eye-catching. I subbed to the minions. That's
the minions
funny.
got subs now.
Oh, there you go.
But it's this actually beekeeping it. This live stream and you guys have helped me actually start generating a little bit of an income from YouTube. I was making a little bit, but it would take 6-8 months before you get $100 payout, right? So it's like, it just wasn't worth it. Now in the last few months, like last month, it was like $94. Now keep in mind, if you watch Castle Grounds Apiary, I had put out the most beekeeping related content on YouTube based on the people he's got in his thing, and I didn't even get a payout. And this month I added the membership, or last month I added a membership area, and put out videos, and we doing the live. So it's starting to increase this month. They always just say estimated revenue. And if you don't if I don't put a video out tomorrow, that number will drop. It'll start going down. So it's like, you got to continue to put it out there
you got to try to get at least one video a week minimum. And
that's, at one video a week. Unless you've got a lot of subs, you're struggling. Yappy could put out one video a month and probably make a little bit of money,
Yeah. Well, his videos that he's got out are probably still generating views in the algorithm too.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
for sure.
I mean, I've got one video that kind of gets somewhat consistent views. I mean, it's only got like 200 views. The video's hot garbage, you know what I mean? So I can imagine if you had a decent video that, you know what I mean, it would just keep getting views at some rate, you know what I mean?
But you know how dumb it is? Those little shorts that you could put out for like 30, 45 seconds, whatever they are when you do a short.
Mm-hmm.
If you put music to the background, like I put one out that was a bee on a flower, and it was probably 30 seconds long, and I used their music as the background, 2,000 views. Now it don't have any watch time, but it's a lot of views. So
yeah, I posted a short that got 3,000 views, but I mean, that's not necessarily the kind of content that I'm wanting to create, you know.
You gotta have
like used to. It didn't matter how many views or subs you had before. If you got views, you got monetized. Now you have to have a minimum of 1,000 subs plus 4,000 hours watched per year in order to be monetized. You can get 10 million views. If you got 999 subs, you didn't earn anything.
Well, I wonder how much watch time I've had this year.
Mine ain't much.
And let me see, Channelytics.
Which really, I've had my channel since 2020, but I really didn't post but a couple videos last year, and then I just started posting maybe a month and a half, 2 months ago, and I've got like 1,500 plus watch hours this year.
I've had this month in the last 28 days, 2,900 watch hours this month. Now that's not hard when you're doing 3-hour videos and people, you know, that makes it a little bit easier.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I've probably had like 60 watch hours ever. But I mean, I haven't been posting videos for too crazy long. I mean, I posted a couple last year and then didn't do anything for like a year. So
one thing that helps out too, though, when you go to upload your video on YouTube, make sure you go down to the tag section and add tags in there, what that video is about for people to be able to find it.
Talking about like hashtags or?
No, it don't have to be the hashtags, but if you look in the tag section, you just type honeybees, hit enter, and it'll pop that one in, and then you can put swarm, enter.
After it's posted, or you're talking about inside the
in the studio while you're
in the studio deal? Okay, yeah.
Here's a interesting fact. I just changed my channel analytics for 365 days. Right, May 26th or May 27th to May 26th. If you want to know the kind of money that you can kind of halfway expect, if you judge based on what I'm doing, I've had 61,300 views. 8,400 watch hours. I gained 488 subs, and my estimated revenue for the year, drum roll, $353.80. So
barely paid for a camera.
Oh, it didn't. It didn't pay for my GoPro.
What camera you got, and then you got to factor all your time in that you were out there actually working, and then the editing time.
Mm-hmm.
It's really not a lot of money in it, but it's the enjoyment of doing it and putting some content out, maybe helping somebody else.
I was gonna say I've spent that much money on just my little sound recorder, the little terabyte thing, right? And then surely I bought something else to get to that. You know what I mean?
So, you know, everybody wants to get monetized, and I understand, but just getting monetized isn't going to make you wealthy.
Well, the money's not the main thing for me. I've got some ideas that I think would be good videos, even some like long-term video projects that would take a while, you know what I mean, throughout a period of time and then eventually post. But like, I don't want to do all that work if there's not going to be anybody to watch it in the end. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to gain some sort of audience at the same time, and then gain. I don't have the technical skills to produce what I would like to in my mind. You know what I mean? Like I can have the idea, but I can't take that idea and make it to where like someone else who had the ability could do it. You know what I mean?
Well,
so, it's a process. It's all good. I mean, at least I'm getting practice, and as long as each video is maybe hopefully a tiny bit better than the one before that, I'm gonna keep doing it.
Well, yeah, I mean that's the main thing is just keep going, man, because you never know what's gonna, you know, like that video Yappy's got that's got 25 million views. when he made that video, he had no idea that it was going to be 25 million views, right?
If I would not have been able to tell you. I mean, I've watched the video. It's like, I mean, it's fine, you know what I mean? But like, why did it's not drastically different than his other videos? Why did that one particular video?
And I think part of it, he said he thought, not all of it, but I think he thought part of it was the title that he put on it. If it
has to be, yeah,
you never knew, or however
it had to have helped somehow, yeah.
I mean, that kind of catches.
But he's also tried taking that almost same exact title and using it again, and you know what I mean, trying to duplicate it.
Yeah.
I think just playing around, and Yappy's. I think Yappy's successful because he's got a great personality. His camera presence is amazing. You know what I mean? So I think he'd be successful no matter what. But now that one video that blew up, I couldn't tell you. You know what I mean?
Well, you didn't even really see him too much in the video. It was just bees on top of his truck, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was like a cell phone video. Like, look at this, you know, some bees.
That's what Yappy was saying. He said, like, last minute thought, he grabbed the camera and it just some reason it blew up.
Well, the good thing is, well, I think people that catch swarms and do cutouts like you do, if you film that, you would gain subs quicker than someone that like us that just does regular old beekeeping videos all the time, right? So,
man, I wish I had filmed all the cutouts I did like the last couple years. You know, when I first got into beekeeping, if I had footage from all that,
right?
Because I'm not going to go do that again. Not like I was. I mean, now I've got 28 colonies in the yard that I got to take care of. I mean, I can't just go out on and waste a Saturday doing a cutout.
The other thing I like about videoing too, besides trying to show other people, I mean, what we doing here and how I do things, I might miss something in the hive, and when I go back and I re-edit, I can see, hey, look, I happened to catch a virgin queen on camera, didn't even know she was in there, or here's a swarm cell that was on the bottom of the frame that I didn't see, and I can run back out there and take care of that.
And I'm trying to get set up better and get more prepared, you know, because like even with this trap out, I'm trying to capture the trap out, but a lot of times I'm going by there after work. I'm going to be getting there at like 7 o'clock. It's getting dark soon. You know what I mean? I've got a GoPro, but then it's like, oh, it's got a quarter battery. You know what I mean? Whereas like a lot of people have made good comments, like if I'd had more camera angles on that swarm catch, it would have been a better video. But I didn't know that was going to swarm, and I didn't have my stuff charged. I mean, my GoPro died before I even got it all done. Some of that was on my cell phone. Some of it was on the GoPro. I didn't have my microphone charged up and everything.
Well,
so some of that's just getting prepared for a video that might come. You know what I mean? I didn't have my stuff prepared, but I had to catch that swarm. You know what I mean? So I just did the best I could.
I think a lot of people, when they watch the videos, it's easy to sit back and say, well, he could have done this better and could have done that better, or, you know, the angle was bad or whatever. But, you know,
and that I was really high in that tree, you guys. That was that's the main reason I didn't use the microphone. I mean, that was I mean, even just getting the microphone started and stopped would have been, I wouldn't have been able to capture the audio anyway. I mean, I would have screwed it up somehow anyway. You know,
when you're in the middle of something, especially a swarm catch, and you're trying to hurry and run around, do everything, you can't think about camera angles and audio and this and that. I mean, yeah, you want to try to capture if you can, but when you in that much of a rush trying to take care of what you have to take care of at that moment, a camera is your last thought. You trying to get a ladder out.
That's what DC just said right there. That's key. Oh, wrong. Sorry, wrong one. Sorry. It's the next one down. It scrolled up on me. That one right there. So that's why one of the reasons why I've started doing so many lives out in the yard. It's just me doing bees, guys. You know, and it seems like people like to watch the bees, and I like to watch the bees. And the thing is, you know, in the end of the day, like you said, William, we're there to work the bees. The video is kind of like it's a good thing. It's a side thing. I'm, you know, like to share whatever, but
and the community is the main thing for me. I mean, there's a drastic difference between like the Facebook beekeeping community in my area and the beekeeping community on YouTube, and meaning that the beekeeping community on YouTube is drastically better than the local beekeeping community in my area. It's just a difference in attitude, I think. You know what I mean? Like, and maybe it's a difference between the Book of Faces and YouTube as a platform. But when you get on the Book of Faces, it just kind of seems like a bunch of people who love themselves. You know what I mean?
Right.
Trying to sound amazing on this chat, and maybe inadvertently put people down or promote their own idea. You know what I mean? It's just, I don't know. It just seems a little toxic. You know what I mean? Well, I'm a part of my local bee club, and I'm not able to attend a lot of the meetings just because of work and everything. And there's some good people. It's just, I don't know.
I'm in a group.
Much better here.
I'm in a group on the Book of Faces called Beekeeping Hacks, right?
Same.
You're in that group, but they will actually dress you down. I don't see the hack in that. This is a group for beekeeping hacks. It's like, well, it may not be a hack to you, 35-year veteran of beekeeping, but to someone starting out, that could be a hack. It could be something for them.
Well, and I've posted a few posts on there that have had good responses. But you still get, you post a hack and somebody be like, yeah, I don't do that. I do this. It's like, okay, but this is still a legitimate hack that still works. You've seen like 400 people like it. You know what I mean? Like, why'd you have to leave that comment?
they got that light. Got to have that light shining.
Yeah, like I posted one about my little bent screwdriver that I made for cleaning out old frames. And people are like, I don't clean frames, I chuck them. Well, good for you. You know what I mean? Right. That's not what this is about. This is about people who are cleaning frames. So you got to leave that comment.
All right, we got Rick back.
Yep. I had to go eat dinner.
And we got Phil. Hey, Philip, how you doing?
Hey guys.
So you like my britches, huh?
They're a lot thicker than the white pants you had on.
Yeah, not bad for $40.
We're getting a good mini in here tonight. What's up, Brad?
Hey, what's going on?
Brad talks smack in the comments and then comes in.
What is
I was eating my potato, and if you want to see how I grew that potato, you can watch Cajun Homestead and Beekeeping.
Oh, look at that! Oh, just shameless plug. Now he's out, right? Boom, dropped his channel. Now he's gonna leave.
All right, I'll see y'all later.
You have violated the terms of service.
Oh my gosh! But see, that's why I like this format, is because everybody's welcome to join, guys. You don't have to stay on the side.
I'll be right back.
Doesn't talk me into doing a video. I'm going to do a video tomorrow.
Heck yeah, that's what I'm talking about. You got to.
Can I just ask real quick? Phil? Do you have a different YouTube name? Like, is your channel a different name, or is it?
It's for Mana Bee Juice. That's what it is.
That's what it is. Okay.
That's me. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Matter of fact, we'll drop some links here.
Yeah, maybe drop his links. Maybe I don't remember seeing him in the comments all that much in the chat, but maybe I'm just crazy.
There's not much to look at in my channel, to be honest. But
the last one was a hot tub and
yeah, hot tub and fish.
You put fish in your hot tub?
I've fished beside my hot tub.
You fish from inside your hot tub?
No, I have a fish tank beside my hot tub.
Oh, a fish tank beside your hot tub. Okay, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, he sits in the fish tank. The fish are in the hot tub.
You all do things a little different over there, I guess.
Yeah.
How are the ankles, Bob?
What's that?
How are your ankles?
Oh, I'm doing much better. My legs were totally stung up.
Yeah.
I wish that would have been my viral video.
Yeah.
Watch Bob get murdered by honeybees.
There would have been something to see, just to see it,
And you know what? Since my buddy called me, there was that whole, we're both veterans. So it was like, who's going to wuss out first, right? It's like, so I'm not closing this hive up. I don't care if I took 1,000 stings. That hive was not getting closed up till we were done, right? We were going to blast through it. And it was insane. But if I go out there next week to do an inspection, you better believe that GoPro's going. When bees are flying in the smoker and committing suicide,
what day you plan on going out there?
I don't know. I told them a week. So when was I out there? 2 days ago, Wednesday. So maybe this Wednesday coming up.
I just want to make sure I'm available for the live.
Oh, I see. I don't think I can do a live out there because
What?
the phone signal, and I have to have
Oh.
internet to use the GoPro for it, and my phone is all grainy when I do it.
Bob,
Hey,
And,
the video didn't happen.
Look at
Oh
this
yeah,
thing.
I gotta. I'll take a GoPro at least and put it on film. Oh, you got one of the
It's
the
an ice cream. It's an ice cream storage tank, I guess.
it's like an Apame,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah. It's similar, but it's not the Apame.
yeah, I mean, but I think you get more for less in the pricing on that one. More for less cost.
Ricky, where are you at, Ricky? Where roughly where are you located?
Which one's Ricky?
Rick,
Or Rick, sorry.
Indiana.
Indiana.
Indiana, okay.
I get everything. Bob, Bobby, hey you, asshole. You know, I get it all thrown at me. But if it applies, it applies. You know, whatever.
I'm retired due to multiple sclerosis.
What? How you doing with that?
I'm good.
Good.
I'm good, man. I mean, I still get around. I'm good. Except I can't make any more money. So if I get a bunch of bees and they start making a bunch of honey, I'm going to have my dad sell it because I can't make any more money. They'll dock me on my
disability.
My disability, yeah.
The good thing about honey sales is majority of it is cash.
Yeah, well, that's good.
So at least from my experience so far.
Don't say that too loud while you're on the internet.
What'd you say, Brad?
I said, don't say it too loud while you're on the internet.
Oh yeah. They're probably auditing my taxes right now.
Yeah. Right.
Next thing you know, you're gonna have a black car with tinted windows parked out front, watching you do honey sales.
Right. I wouldn't doubt it.
You're gonna be out there sitting on the tailgate. They're gonna be parked across the road.
We got a confession. Move in.
We got him, the mysterious honey bandit.
That's true. Very true. You got a point there. So,
honey bandit.
We don't use that around here. We use honey bee.
Be gone.
Honey be gone.
Yeah, that's what I got. That's the first one that I ever bought when I first started trying to pull supers, and it worked okay. But
yeah, that's another thing. I gotta find my fume board. Gotta find out what I did with my fume board.
Again.
I got a what I don't know what you call it, but an escape board for the bees to get them out of the honey supers.
Does it work really well? I haven't used that. Do you guys use escapes or fume boards, or what? We know Phil has his flows, so he doesn't have to worry about it. The William, what do you use? Fume board or escape?
Well, last year I went into winter with 7 colonies, so I mean I was just shaking them off.
Right.
Until now, I haven't had enough bees to really
worry
bother with either one. But I'm leaning more toward bee escape.
I didn't buy any. I wonder if the bee escape will be. I mean, you got to put it on there, and then you got to wait like a day or two, right, before you pull them off.
Yeah. I think Bob Benny says he waits about a day per box, kind of a deal. But you can't wait too long if you got a hive beetle problem or anything like that. So
right.
Yeah, I think the normal is like 24 hours.
That's the only reason I like using the fume boards. I can spray whatever I need on there, put it on, and within a few minutes they're kind of gone. Yeah. But I mean, that's if you have time to sit out there and wait on it. If you're in a rush trying to get to other yards, hey, throw an escape on, come back the next day, pull your honey.
I know one thing with the honey be gone. If you don't use queen excluders and you do have some brood up in some of the honey chambers, they won't leave that brood.
Yeah, they're coming down.
Yeah, they'll stay in there.
They won't go through an escape though either if they got brood up there.
Are y'all using queen excluders or anything?
I don't.
I am.
I'm not either. I've got some out there, but I pulled them just because I was having so much trouble keeping room on them.
Yeah. The only
You
one
know,
I used queen excluders on last year was my comb honey supers, and I'd planned on putting excluders back on this year since I had drawn comb. A lot of times they don't want to go through that excluder. If you got that foundation, there's no reason for them to go up there and fight their way in.
Mm-hmm.
So I was going to use the excluder this year since I do have drawn comb. A couple of them went through there pretty decent, but I noticed some of them just still didn't want to go through it. So I just pulled them all off.
I'm gonna have to come up with a system because I just used the one last year. I just used one fume board, and I'd put it on a box, drive them down, take that box off, move the fume board down, and just keep moving it down while I'm taking boxes off. But I have to manually carry that box, right, 20, 30 pounds to wherever I'm going to harvest it from and make sure that all the bees are out of it and everything. And last year was in the kitchen, so I had a number of bees in my kitchen.
Well, what I'm going to do this year, I have a little small 8-foot trailer too that I can tow behind, and I got one telescopic cover that I stapled felt inside of, and I can turn it upside down, put my like my honey robber, honey bandit, or whatever on. That way, whenever I get the bees out of one of the boxes, I can set it on that and then cover it up with another, and that scent's going to want to keep the bees away from it.
See, Larry says he uses a leaf blower when he has bees moving out slow.
I've seen that.
I've got one of those battery eyes blowers. They work pretty good.
And they'll probably move pretty quick once you start. Doesn't that get them mad at all?
It'd make me mad. Did he hear you? I don't think he heard you.
Were you asking me a question?
I wonder if the blower makes the bees mad at all.
I mean, not any more than shaking them. It's just easier to blow them out of the box without pulling the frames out. You know what I mean? And
right.
They don't really understand that. I mean, they get blown off of something. I don't think they really understand like what did it really? You know,
just a lot of wind and they move down.
They're just like, what the heck? You know what I mean? And then they're kind of disoriented, and obviously they're not happy about it, but.
See, Paul here, he's probably 15 minutes from me, and he said he uses excluders no problem. I said I've had some of them, they go through the excluder, they just don't want to, they don't seem to want to go through it as much into the supers as a box that don't have the excluder.
Is that a plastic excluder or
Yes.
is it metal?
Plastic.
Yeah, that might be part of the problem.
I
could get a couple of the metal ones, just kind of try them out, see. Put two hives side by side, put a metal in one, a plastic in another.
I've got plastic and metal on mine.
That'd be a good video.
Yeah, there you go. It'd be a good video, Lee.
Hey, Larry.
Try that.
Hey.
We need 2 more people who had the Brady Bunch.
Look, I couldn't type quick enough to tell y'all about how to take off those supers. I take the fume boards. I'll take 6 or 8 boards with me. I'll go ahead and put them on top, and then once they drive the bees down, I'll stand them up and just look at them, make sure they're clean. If they're not clean, I take that leaf blower, a steel leaf blower. I crank it up and I blow the bees out in front of the box. They don't care at all. They don't get mad, sting, or anything.
So you just stand the box up on its edge and blow it with the air and blow them all out.
Yeah, you can't blow them down the bees. You wouldn't want to do that. Stand them up and just blow them and send them out into the yard.
And they'll come right back home, probably.
Go back in the bottom. Yeah.
It's a good idea. That way my wife won't murder me for having 1,000 bees in the kitchen this year.
I used a Black & Decker one for years, battery operated. I did several batteries, that 20 volt. I've used that before. I've just used a few, but we have so many until I just started taking the gasoline one. The only fear is, storing the gasoline and smoking in the same area.
Right.
Bobby
says that's how he does it too. Bobby Speeds.
Yeah. Hell Hive said he uses the excluder to keep any brood out of the supers. As long as it ain't comb supers, I personally don't mind having any brood up there. I mean, once the brood hatches out, 90% of the time that you're going to backfill it with nectar anyway.
Right.
And once you extract it out, if you're running it through a little sieve or whatever, you're going to get any cocoons, wax, and all that out.
What I did is when I put the super on And the first time I noticed there was brood up there, I made sure the queen was back in the bottom box. And then I put the excluder on to let the brood hatch out. And then, like you said, they're just going to backfill it. And once it's backfilled, you can take the excluder back off then.
Yep.
Well, with me not having any drawn comb, I pulled them off because I feel like anything that would slow them down is just going to make matters worse. But if I had drawn comb, I'd probably play it a little different.
Now, another way I've seen them do it, they'll put a box on there with an excluder or without an excluder, let the bees fill that with nectar, a little bit of brood. Now, once that hatches out and they backfill that, instead of under super in that one, they'll put another super on top. And most of the time, the queen ain't going to cross all that honey. Then
Yeah, they call that a honey bridge.
Yeah. They'll create that first bridge. After that, then they'll under super the second one and still leave that first bridge at the bottom.
Well, I lost the sub during this live stream, so sorry I offended somebody.
Yeah, I had a problem with the queen excluder several years ago, and I put queen excluders on everything, trying to keep the brood out, and I actually realized that those are honey excluders. If you don't have a real good flow, they're not going to cross it.
Mm-hmm.
They're just, especially if you've got plastic up there, they're not going.
Nope. Yeah, they didn't want to go through mine to get to that plastic foundation.
All right. Well, I'm going to jump off of here. I'm reading the chat, but I just want to share that. I knew I couldn't type that. It stresses me out trying to pick.
Thank you, Mr. Larry.
Yeah, we appreciate you stopping in for sure.
Y'all have a good night.
Good night. We'll see you later. So, yeah, see, I would have never thought to do that, but I would definitely do it this year.
I tell you what, you don't want to do it on a hot hive, because that hive that I tell you that I had to requeen, I pulled the supers off of them, and I was blowing them with my gas blower. And let me tell you what, I had bees going through the motor, that blower.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, I had to stop because they were clogging up where the air intake of the blower was at.
So, Grammy, you're harvesting honey tomorrow? I haven't pulled any honey yet. When you pulling honey?
I'm hoping to pull some Sunday.
So you're already going to start pulling it as well.
I've got several boxes that are completely full and capped with light spring honey, a lot more privet in it.
I thought about pulling some frames out and spinning them and then putting the cap or the uncapped comb back in there. Because I got the same problem Williams got. Like last year, I didn't have as many colonies, so I don't have as much drawn comb as I need, right?
Me neither.
And,
my bees are having trouble. They've got lots of frames that are full of nectar, but not capped. I think the humidity is giving them trouble or something. I don't know.
I had that problem last year. They were into late July capping some of the honey. Some of it still wasn't capped because we had so much rain and humidity. But this year it's been a lot drier.
Had a lot of rain.
And my number one hive is I already got 2 full boxes completely capped, and then 2 that are almost the third one is 100% full of nectar, but it ain't capped yet. And I just added a 4th super to it today.
I've got very few totally capped frames. Plenty of thick, fat frames. They're just not all the way capped yet. So
it'll have that hazy look to it, and it won't shake out, but it's just not capped. Yeah. And maybe it's close enough. I don't know. Or you set it in it with a dehumidifier or something. But
you got a refractometer?
I do, yeah.
How much does a 5-gallon bucket of honey weigh?
60 pounds.
60 pounds.
Mm-hmm. So if you're selling at $10 a pound, every 5-gallon bucket should be worth $600.
Yeah. Now, if the moisture level of it's real low, it's going to actually be a little bit heavier, but it may only still be 62 pounds for a 5-gallon bucket.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I got so many thoughts that go through my mind, right? So everyone was like, "Oh, well, once they get fat, you just checkerboard them and they'll work in between." But I've noticed they're not really working in between on those other combs because they haven't fully capped out what they already have there, you know, so nothing capped but brood. Yeah.
I've heard, I think it was Bob Benny that was saying that he likes to pull honey when it's not all completely capped, so that when he puts it in the drying room, the uncapped honey will get dried out, maybe even a little more than the capped honey. And it brings down the overall moisture content in the honey.
Well,
that's interesting.
My mentor said what he'll do, like I'll run it through a 5-gallon paint strainer, right? So if you drain it into the bucket and put a fresh strainer over the top, like a mesh cover over top of the bucket so nothing can get in it, and then just put a fan that blows air over the top of it, and it's gonna evaporate the moisture up out of the bucket too.
It will evaporate like that. It's just a little bit slower to evaporate versus if it's still in the cone because you have more surface area.
Right, that's true.
Well, I've got a dehumidifier as well, and it's just so humid in Oklahoma.
If you got a storage area where you can put a small just space heater or whatever and warm that room up in a dehumidifier, it'll drop the moisture content fast.
Silver Gorilla says if it won't shake out, I extract it. Have lots of cap too. Might bring the moisture up a bit, but it doesn't affect anything. Yeah. These aren't Carhartt. These are Liberty. I can't afford Carhartt coveralls.
Tractor Supply?
Tractor Supply, $40.
I got a couple of pair of them, but then I do have actual Carhartt. But mine, I have to get the LFRC Carhartt.
They're pretty thick. I didn't take any leg stings, or if I did, they didn't penetrate through this thick material. But I did take some stings on my arms because I got bold and just wore my cheap veil that doesn't have a hole in it like my Guardian does.
My veil's still in the truck.
One day, Guardian's going to come in here. The guy's going to come in. He's going to be like, "Why is this guy talking noise about my stuff?" And well,
so far I hadn't had no problems with mine.
I got a hole in the side of my veil. Did those mean bees like just break a hole in the side of my veil? I don't know.
They were eating it up.
You can bring that veil to the Hive Live conference and see if they exchange it out for you.
Yeah,
he'd probably just punch you out, Bob.
Yeah, maybe. Try it. You can try it.
He might stick some Velcro over that hole for you.
I'm a big old boy. I'll put some duct tape on it. Doesn't Cayman have one that's got like duct tape on the side of it?
Probably.
From what I remember, they're big old boys too.
I seen another video yesterday or the day before. It looked like somebody had more tape on one of their veils than it did mesh material.
So
yeah, doesn't oh crap. What's
his
name? He was on last night.
I'm gonna let my nephew wear that one tomorrow. He can't come work bees and not get stung, right? You got to get at least one sting on your first time in the bee yard. So I'm gonna
half the time I wear my Guardian, I accidentally leave the veil open anyway.
Yeah, like a little zip or something right there.
I'll leave it straight up full on open, not even notice it, and then I'll go around and be like, oh shoot, this thing's been open a foot long.
I really like that one that I was wearing today with the elastic that goes under the arm. But if your t-shirt or your shirt is not like right up against your, like if it's got that little cuff in the back, if you don't get that overlapping piece just right, they'll like get in the back of your shirt right there.
Every time I put my veil on, like I said, I smoke my arms and everything down, but I also smoke the back of my neck.
Trying to remember if I posted that video yet, but the video where I actually wore the GoPro in the chest rig,
right? I
had the chest rig on before I put my veil up, and then the bees were kind of being a little bit bouncy around my face, so then I put my veil on, but I had the strap of the GoPro inside of my hood, so if you watch that video, you won't see any straps on my back because they're up inside my hood. My hood wasn't even zipped, you know.
It's hard to, with the wide brim hat, to put that thing on over it, because you got to do the first ones, then you got to slide your arms through, and then you got to do the other one. It's kind of a pain to get in and out.
I thought when I put it on, I thought I pulled my veil out and then put it on, but I guess I didn't. Like I had the strap right over here, and
That harness there, is that something you ordered extra for it for the GoPro?
Yeah, I just ordered mine on Amazon.
I got it for mountain biking. Is what I got.
They have different sizes.
Well, you got to order a specific for the GoPro you've got.
Yeah, it's adjustable. So.
Oh, okay.
I've had various hobbies throughout the year where I wanted to film this different things or another. I've done some slacklining and mountain biking and stuff.
So it's just, you just take your GoPro case and mount it to the front, and it's got the adjustable straps all the way around it.
Yours looks like it might be a little nicer than mine. I got an old one.
How do you know what you're filming? Can you see the GoPro or something?
You can get in.
The first few minutes, you can see the little screen on it, and then it goes away. But I typically just have it on my chest, so anything I'm holding in front of my hands, it's catching.
On my GoPro 10, the screen on the back after 70 seconds, it goes off. But you can tap it with your finger, and it'll come right back on. It also has the front screen too. So, I've programmed the front screen to stay on. Now you can program the back one to stay on full time too, but it uses more battery.
I've just got the Hero 3, so they don't have a screen on the back. Now you can get an app for your phone.
That's your Bob?
It drains your battery real bad as well.
That's not the one I've got.
On your phone. So I just wing it. I just guess, and the GoPro shoots a really wide angle, so most of the time you're pretty good.
Oh wow! I actually bought the GoPro branded one. It actually says GoPro on it. It's got a nice little cushion on it, but it's all right.
Do you use it very often?
I was using it until it got to be a pain in the butt to edit the two different footages together. When I was doing the split screen deal, because it's got such a wide field of view that it just seemed like it was better. I could switch between, but then I had a problem syncing the audio up, and it was kind of crazy. But
you mean between two GoPros or a GoPro on a phone?
I use two GoPros. I've got a 5.
That's what I like about Adobe Premiere Pro. I can put multiple cameras in it. Once I sync all the audio with it, they're locked into place. That I can tell it I want a multi-camera sequence. It'll throw all the cameras on the screen at one time, and I hit play. And then all I have to do is press 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, whatever camera I want, and it'll automatically cut my footage to that camera.
So this is the one I use in the chest. It's just a 5. And then I've got the Max. That's a 360 camera.
Oh, okay.
So I could actually do a 360 view video. I don't know if YouTube lets you do that where you can scroll around, but
yeah, YouTube supports it.
Oh, it does?
Yeah.
So I could do a 360 video where you could go all the way around the bee yard.
Just whatever video editing software you use has to support 360.
Yeah, it probably doesn't because I use the free DaVinci Resolve.
That's what I tried to download was DaVinci Resolve. I mean, I did download it. My computer just won't run it, even though it says it would.
Yeah, I get stung pretty much daily, Larry. I wish I could go a week without a sting. I can't go a day without a sting of some sort. Usually, I mean, today I was got stung on my arm, but it wasn't that bad.
I'm not going to say I like getting stung, but I do like getting stung at the same time. My hands get cramped up from operating all the time. I take a couple of bee stings, and I mean, for 2 weeks, my hands feel good.
All things in moderation.
Yeah. 2 or 3 stings, not 100 stings.
Yeah, too many at one time is not fun. Not fun at all.
The other day, I was just sitting out there watching my bees, and one came up to my knee and just stung me.
For no reason, right?
Dang, that hurt.
He stole the dog.
Dog's gone.
Boy, she came in and got out quick. Quick. She was not trying to be on any video. Like my wife. She's like, I don't want to be on no video.
If mine comes in the room to bring me something to drink, if you see anything, you might see her arm come around the corner. That's it. She ain't gonna be on camera.
But Phil, what's going on with the beekeeping in your area now?
Not a big pile. Weather's been pretty shit over here, to be honest. Cold, windy.
So when is your typical time that your bees are flying and everything?
Well, they're very resilient. They fly pretty much every day, but tomorrow's D-Day for bees. Last time we went into it, there was no real sign of queen brood.
Anything, huh?
Anything. So I've left them for about 2.5 weeks. Hopefully, I'm going to go in tomorrow and see signs of a queen. If not, then we're in trouble.
Right. Well, that's right now. I'm knock on wood. I'm queen rich.
You might have
Yeah,
to
I
Northern Ireland.
Do what?
You might have to check the shipping price for queens to Northern Ireland.
Yeah, queens over here are very hard to get.
There you go, Bob.
Yeah, they're probably very well. They probably don't even take queens from the United States.
If you can do overnights from the US, yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, U.S. to Ireland. I wonder, man. I'd be curious how much that would even cost.
Yeah.
What's the temperature there in Northern Ireland right now?
Like
during the day?
Maximum at the minute is about 15 C.
What is 15 C in Fahrenheit? Let me see. That's
Nice.
probably low 70s.
59 degrees.
Yeah.
One of y'all in a bar? I hear a lot of background noise.
It's not me anyway. But...
All right, 15 C to Fahrenheit.
Yeah, 15's a good day here at the minute.
That's 59.
Yeah.
So when does it really start warming up for you guys? Good night, Grammy.
All right, Miss Lisa.
You've obviously never been to Ireland.
No, I've never been to Ireland.
15 could be it.
Really?
For the whole summer.
Wow. So, I mean, I guess your bees are used to having to get what they need during that time frame then.
Yeah, but the bees, they reckon anything over sort of 7C, they'll be out foraging. As long as it's dry, they'll be out.
That's almost like living in Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. Yeah, as long as our biggest problem is the rain. There's way too much rain.
Everything's green and growing, but they can't get to it.
You don't be called the Elmer Dial for not having enough rain. So.
Let's see. Just trying to see if anybody was sending me messages about bees, but no. Now, my brother sent me a thing about bees. Man, I would buy all of them, as many as I could. Oh, hey, we got any people in West Virginia on right now? They've got someone's got used honey supers in stock for $10 a piece.
I could use a half a dozen of those.
As with frames?
Let me see. I have 50 plus honey supers for sale, $10 each, in Ravenswood, West Virginia. Don't know where that's at. It says used fair.
That's probably close to you, Bob.
Not close to me. Probably 8 hours away.
It's going to be closer to you than it is me.
Let me see. I was just trying to see it. It doesn't have the.
This is how sad I am, but there's my 2 hives.
Those look good.
Yeah, look good.
Now, what are they up against there? A greenhouse?
Well, it's a greenhouse beside them, yeah. I just installed that camera this evening just to keep an eye on them.
Are those hives?
They're flow hives, yeah.
Ravenswood is on the Ohio River. and looks kind of like northwestern West Virginia.
Oh, it's in between Parkersburg and Charleston. Looks like right on 77 or something. That's not too bad.
It's right by Portland.
Just north of, well, I guess if you were in Galax, Virginia, it's not that terribly far, a few hours. Or if you were in southern Ohio, or if you were in Lexington, Kentucky, it looks like you could get there relatively easily. Of course, you know, with the mountains, everything would wind. But that's $5,000 to get you 50 honey supers. Right? No, $500, right? $10 a piece. Yeah, $500 would get you 50 supers.
That's what I was thinking about earlier today. I think for next year, instead of doing any more expansion, I'm just going to buy a whole lot more honey supers and do more production next year.
Well, from this picture, it looks like it's got frames in them, but that doesn't mean they're for sale with the frames. But
it beats building them.
About saying you also have to check your local regulations too, because some places won't allow used equipment unless it has bees already in it.
Right.
Just put one bee in there.
Let me see.
Loophole. Does it have to be a live bee or dead bee?
Well, it was live when I left. Hey, Wizard Hunt.
Hey, Wizen Hunt's in here?
Yes, he is.
Just to let him know too, I did mail out your hive tool today. I have to get the ticket out of the car, and I'll send you a tracking number on that later.
I'm glad you didn't pick me for that.
Why not?
Because I just bought one.
Oh, you can never have enough hive tools.
Right. I've got 2 on my desk.
I think I've got 3 now, and I lost one somewhere out there.
I found that if I just leave it on a hive.
Yeah, that's what I'll find it.
I just
I've still got more too, so I mean, you never know. One of these days, we may be doing more giveaways.
Lee, I was very, very pleased to see my name in the draw, even though it's.
Hey, I would have shipped.
Probably cost you even more to ship it than it.
Well, yeah, that was one of the questions, that it would be pretty hard to ship it.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, even shipping here, it costs me more for shipping than the tool itself costs.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I would just order it off of Amazon and have it shipped as a gift, and that way Amazon Prime is going to ship it for free shipping, and do it that way. It'd be cheaper.
Yep, I agree.
Bob's always thinking. He's the thinker of the group.
Well, yeah, I don't know about all that.
That's why you got headphones on to keep that smoke from coming out.
I know, right? I wouldn't have killed 2 queens that were capped today to put in cage queens. I would have put those cage queens in another box.
Yeah, they always say hindsight's 20/20.
Wait, what did you do?
Well, you remember last night when I did a poll, what do you guys think? Should I just go ahead and put those Jose's queens in those 2 framers, right?
Yeah, I seen your video of you putting them in there.
Yep, but 2 of the colonies had capped queen cells in them that I went ahead and knocked off.
Yeah.
But I didn't have enough queens to even fill all the boxes I had, so I could have just left those to hatch and made other ones. But instead, I went ahead and whacked them.
I did notice that while you were putting that in, I think you forgot to check 2 or 3 of the hives for queen cells.
Yeah, I've seen that too.
Yeah, I went back through them though, just not on the live stream. There was, matter of fact, I went back out there this evening.
It wasn't videoed. It didn't happen.
Well,
yeah,
you have to trust me on that one. I went back out there though, and I took, I have them side by side. So I just took the top off, and I went out to my 2 high nukes and grabbed that frame out of the top, Mike and Ike's baby, and took it out of the top, and just shook one frame over 2 of those 2 framers So the bees just kind of went into both halves of it and then closed them up. So you got 5 hive tools. How many hives do you have right now?
I couldn't tell you how many hive tools I got laying around here.
If you got more hive tools than you have hives,
but you got to think about it. I've done giving away what, 4 of them, 5 of them, and I still got more left, plus the ones that are already open.
I try to leave.
I wasn't lacking on hive tools.
Well, I try to leave a bunch of hive tools out on my stands. I just scatter them around.
That's what I want to do. Start leaving one hive tool in every one of my yards, because I have actually left the house, go to an out yard, and got a hive tool.
How much is this hive tool? Like $10, right?
$9-10.
Way cheaper than that.
You can get it cheaper than that. I think you can get it like $7.99.
You can get 4 for $20 on Amazon right now.
Yeah,
just like that.
I like that one too.
But if you get 4 of these, it's like one. If they're, I think I paid $9.95 at the store for this, to be honest with you. But if let's say it's $9.95, 2 of these is a hive body. So,
well, you just gotta make your own, Bob. Just get your forge out, hammer them out.
Be out there, tink,
2 for 10.
2 for 10. So
get you some old lawnmower blades and just put your little elbow grease in there, and you got a couple more.
Rhonda, did your package come? I wonder. There's such a delay. It's like 10-11 seconds. So
yeah. Unless you put it on ultra low latency, you might still have a 2-second delay.
But yeah, I've probably got. I was trying to carry these in all the time, but then I found out I was just walking back and forth. And so what I did was just started leaving them on top of the colonies.
Well, the problem is I'll have my hive tool and I'll forget something and run back to my shop or wherever, and then I'll be like, oh, I gotta move these around, and then I'll set it down. I won't set it down in the bee yard. I'll hang on to it. But then when I go somewhere else, I'll set it down, walk back out to the yard, and won't have it.
Yeah, Dennis, that was when I first started, that was my thing. Getting to the point to when I had the bees in the box, and then wanting to go in and look at them all the time.
That's why I say, I mean, everybody says start with at least 2 colonies. That way you have something to compare them to. I would say start with 4 or 5. That way you can go in one hive today, another hive tomorrow, another hive the next day, and you can be in your bees every day and not mess with one hive too much.
Well, I think by putting these queens in these 2 framers like I did, I increased my workload a lot on that, right? So when that queen starts laying, she's going to lay that one frame up quick. They're going to draw the other frame out. And then I'm going to be constantly removing frames of brood out of those 2 framers to put them into bigger colonies to try to strengthen them.
Production colonies.
Yep, to try to strengthen them up. But it's not that I want to, it's that I have to, because otherwise the 2-frame box is going to be going. So the idea with the 2-frame box was just walk away, split them. And, then I don't have to even go in them for 3 weeks to see if a queen hatched out. Or,
if you start having that problem with them trying to leave, you might have to go with Black Mountain Honey's solution. Clip them wings.
Clip the wings.
That way you don't have to worry about losing those brand new queens.
Well, it shouldn't. I mean, we'll see what happens if it, how fast they build up. And you guys will see it right along with me. See how long it takes if I'm catching them out of all the trees. And let me see. Just trying to keep up with comments. And all right, somebody say something.
Something.
There you go. So, Brad, what's your next video, brother?
I think it's going to be something maybe about getting my queen rearing box together.
Yeah, I saw that text you sent me. The text you sent. See, this is how our little network works. Y'all think we don't communicate? We do communicate a bit.
Just to make a comment on the queen rear and stuff. I did drop my Nycot system into the hive today.
Did you put a queen in it yet?
No, I haven't put the queen in yet. I'm going to let them go in, polish the cup sails and everything, and start getting the smell of the hive on that before I try to introduce the queen. Maybe that way, if it smells more like the hive when I introduce the queen, she'll be more comfortable and lay it up.
Let me see. Where is it, Brad? I know you're in here.
It's not happy, Brad.
Look at that. I got this is how you're listed in my phone. Oh, you won't be able to see it. Crap. It says Brad Cajun. Brad Cajun.
What was it? What was it about? I don't remember.
Oh, it might have been a comment. I think it was a comment on the video. It wasn't maybe it wasn't a text, but it said that something to the effect of I got you thinking about starting to do the queen rear boxes.
Oh,
or
yeah.
doing the queen rear. So that's what it's all about right there. Opening those, hey, I never thought about that, or maybe I'll do it, maybe I won't do it. Whatever, type of stuff.
I think I'm going to use that little Apame hive with the
7-framer.
7-framer.
Let's see, Brad trying to get your wife on camera, too shy, just like Laurel. I think it was Gus Mitchell who says hive belongs in the hand or in the pocket. Oh, the hive tool. Well, if I can't find it, I can't do either.
A lot of them carry a
magnet in their pocket.
A magnet in their pocket.
Mm-hmm. I mean, these are so cheap, and they're metal. I mean, it's not like they're gonna rust. I mean, they're so gunked up. And I still have. This is one of my original hive tools, and that purple one I've got is original hive tool, and they're so I've been able to keep them, but it's just like finding them all the time is an issue. Let me see. Let me go back up. Apartment.
I think I keep hearing you like talk twice or something.
I don't know.
You got a little loop somewhere there.
I don't know.
I want to start trying to graft. I know that sounds kind of major, but I want to try to see if I can graft.
You're never going to know if you can do it until you try it.
Yeah.
I still haven't done it yet. No, I'm wanting to try.
Well, Brad has done it.
I bought a couple of those little styrofoam mating nukes,
The little mini mating nuke.
Yeah. I got like 3 of them.
I got 5 of those, but I'm gonna next time I use them, I'm gonna have a better idea of how to do it. The first time they absconded because I didn't have nothing to hold them in there. No drawn comb, no nothing. But I didn't lock them in. And after talking to Jose the other night, he said he locks them in there for at least a day or 2. I think he said maybe in 3 days.
I'm not going to do it. The grafted frame.
Yeah.
Now that you said, he's like, Bob will show you the grafted frame. Nope, not going to do it now.
Bring it out, Bob. Bring it out.
Bring it out. I've got one. Never used it yet.
What kind is it?
Saracel.
Yeah, you got to show the people that never seen it before.
Everybody in here seen it before.
No, not Hail Hives or who's this other guy?
Oh, Hail Hives has seen it. That's why I think he's being a little sarcastic.
Tobias Pasture.
God, you look peer pressure me.
Come on, Fred, reach over there and pick something up.
Yeah.
There it is.
Go. There's the grafted frame.
Hey, I think that's now that I started thinking about it. I was looking at mine because mine is the other one that uses the roll cages, and Man, I had the hardest time building that because you have to staple that little first piece on the wood on the bar,
Right.
and then you can go back and put all those other pieces onto it. But every time I had put a staple in one side might would crack or something like that. That little cup.
Right.
So you have to be very gentle with it. You know,
Where'd you get yours from, Brad?
Man Lake.
Okay. I got the Nikot one from Better Bee, and it's got the little cell holder you got to put on.
Mhm.
But in the directions, it said the easiest way to do it is to take a hot glue gun. Put
Oh.
hot glue on the bottom, put it on there, and then take your look. It comes with little tack nails, and you just barely tap the nail in it just to secure it too.
Yeah, I didn't think about the hot glue.
I just use the JBZB cups personally.
The ones that you just push in the little slot.
Just push them into the little slot. I don't use
I
rollers
have
or
one of
anything.
those with the plastic bar that you push them in the little slot, but you can't put your roll cages on it.
Yeah, I don't use the roll cages, so it's not really an issue for me.
If you weren't going to use roll cages, why can't you use just the cup and have it attached to the bar with wax?
Well, the only reason I was using the cages is because I didn't have an incubator, so I had to leave them in the hive the whole time, and they were webbing up the cups, the cells. They were the queen, not the queens, but the workers were drawing comb all over the cells.
Yeah, I can see that.
So once they capped it, I just put the cup on, the roll cage on, and they couldn't touch them anymore.
Yeah, that's what I'm planning on doing after they get capped off.
I've had them build a little bit of comb on them. Just had to kind of cut them around. Just depends on how quick you can get them out and get them into an incubator or into a mating new.
Yeah, no. Well, probably the advertising fee I could charge on my channel is not very high. not very high. So, got to give them some exposure.
I was about to say we got to help Blythewood Bee Company out a little bit right now because they're helping us out.
Yeah, the giveaways for sure.
That's right.
They got
That's where you got that that grafting frame is from Blythewood.
Yeah, well, now see, damn it, Brad, you gonna make me pull the whole damn thing up here. Empty out my Xbox controller. Hold on.
Is that Blythewood, Lee?
Blythewood.
BLYTHEWOOD.
Oh, okay.
All right.
I'll drop the link in the comments.
So it's a kit. It's
Now
a
we're
kit.
talking. We finally get to see the whole box at one time.
And I'm tearing everything up. You get 4 frames. All right. You get 4 of these grafted frames.
You get 90 of those little black cups.
You get 2 Chinese grafting tools. The cups.
How many?
2 grafting tools with it.
Oh.
You get the little dial. And if you notice, this was the same dial that Jose was using when he was on the other night. I got it upside down, I think. Yeah.
He said he had marked stuff on it. Why had he marked stuff on it?
Oh, he just different days he does stuff that he had marked on it. So you get that.
I have one of those. I got it with the when I ordered the other kit from Man Lake. They sent me one.
Now, how much was your kit from Man Lake?
I don't remember, Bob. It was 4 years ago, and I don't.
Well, this kit is $70, and the Nikot system Lee got from Better Bee was
I think
106,
something like that.
I think, yeah, when you bought it, maybe, but I thought we looked it up and it was like 125 or something now, wasn't it?
Now yours, Lee, that's the one with the little square box that you put the queen in it, right?
Yeah, I put that box into a hive today. That way they can start polishing it.
This is the first time?
Yeah, that's the first time I'm doing it.
Oh, okay. You gonna make a video of that?
Yep, I'm working on a video now. Me putting it together in here and then putting it in the hive, and it's going to be a multi-step process before I get it.
Oh, because I want to see that. Not too many people make videos of that.
Yeah, so that queen wheel tells you the life cycle of the queen and everything, but I bet you what he's penciling in on his wheel is when he makes up his mating nukes and all the stuff associated with those dates.
Right.
So what I use is a spreadsheet. So I've got a spreadsheet now. I don't just have the life cycle of the queen from egg to hatch. I've also got when I need to make up my mating nuke, when I need to put in the incubator. Every little manipulation that I'm going to do throughout the whole process is on that spreadsheet.
So from what I gather, what you're going to do is, let's say today's what, the 27th. So you'll go on the wheel and you'll line up day one on the 27th, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then that tells you when everything's going to be happening, right? So by the 4th of next month, we should be at Cap Queen sale, and when you should be expecting it to hatch and everything too. So it's a pretty neat little tool. And I saw this on Saracell's website. It was like $30 for just this thing right here. So yeah, that is a good price on that. If you're gonna buy it though, if you're looking at buying that setup, I recommend calling them, because the shipping on their website has been kind of off and crazy. And if you call them, they'll give you an accurate shipping.
Yeah, I think the website's the item's $70, $69, and the shipping's gonna be what, about $110 on the website, unless you call them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's.
Well, I just heard on the matter of fact, I just heard on the news this afternoon. I was listening to it, and they said that they're going to start charging. Talking about all the big places like FedEx, Amazon, they're going to start charging a minimum of
a fuel
surcharge on shipping now, along with the other already increases.
That's crazy.
Because of the fuel prices that are getting up there so high. So the heavier that your package is, the higher your fuel surcharge is going to be.
It'll get to the point where, if you want to order something from Betterbee, you just better drive to New York and pick it up and drive it home. It's getting crazy. But that's a good setup. But the website has been kind of off as far as that. Where was Larry says grafting's easier than you think. Look at your brood to identify commas and you will be set.
Yeah. I've heard that before. I've done a lot of studying on the subject. So I think I could pick out some good ones.
Right. I think the biggest part is just making sure that your the box, right? The box that you have set up for the cells to go into is appropriate. That's probably the biggest thing.
Yeah, you want to make sure you got enough bees in it to start with to feed the larva, and then
I think what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put a bunch of bees in it, but I want to find me, since I got a couple of hives now, I want to find me a bunch of frames that are either in the process of hatching out or fixing to hatch out. That way I can get a bunch of young nurse bees in it.
Yeah.
Right.
I always add a bunch of bees, and then, like you said, put a full frame of capped brood that's ready to hatch.
And I've
seen a lot of people too. They'll put a little bit of pollen patty in there just to give them a little extra nutrition.
Yeah, and that hive that I was telling you the other night, Bob, about that was making the supersedure cells. I went all the way to the bottom, and I think the reason they were doing that because they had the brood nest plugged up with pollen. They only had like 1 or 2 frames of where she was laying, and then everything else was spotted because she was laying in between the pollen everywhere.
Do you edemarie?
I had that problem on one today, but all it was just a brood box by itself. It was a walkaway split that I done about a month or so ago. And they filled it completely with nectar. They got a little bit of pollen in there and some bee bread, but every cell was stacked. So I had to throw a super on today, hoping they'll move everything up because I didn't have no deep frames with me. So you could move that nectar up into the super and then give her room to lay.
You could do you a demaray, move the brood box up, right? Take 1 frame of brood at all stages, right? You could mark the frame, put it in the middle. And if you've got drawn comb, put drawn comb down there. all the bees are gonna work down to her too, right?
Yeah.
Most of them. She'll start laying those up. Go in 3 days later, pull that frame out, and you should have larvae ready to graft in the bottom.
Yeah.
And what I do to make up my cell builder is try to stock it full of cap brood about 10 days before I'm gonna introduce the grafts.
Mm-hmm.
That way, all of those bees emerge and have time to mature to nurse bee status about the time when you're going to introduce the cells to increase the population, not just of the bees, but of the the right age bees for feeding the grafts.
Right.
And I also went into some of my nukes today because I have someone come and get a nuke tomorrow, and I wanted to check out the nuke, make sure that no swarm cells or anything on the nukes, and make sure the queen was still there and everything. And I noticed that since it's the flow going on right now, they're starting to put nectar everywhere she's not laying. So if you have a small, if you have a nuke and you don't give them no room, they're gonna plug it out right now because
They get honey
tallow
bound.
is coming in like crazy right now.
You see what Larry said? Remove one of your queens and the open brood. Give them your graft and a pollen frame. And it's like a ready-built box for them.
Yeah, that definitely works depending on how many grafts you're sticking in there. So if you're trying to put like an abnormal amount of grafts in there, you need to create like what Larry's saying, but you need to duplicate that amount of a bunch in the same box. So whereas he's removing all the larvae that's too young, which is going to work, you know what I mean? They'll build your grafts. But if you're putting in, over 30 or so grafts, you really want more bees than what's going to be in that box, in my opinion. So you're basically taking like what Larry's saying, and you're taking all of what he's trying to create and putting 3 or 4 sets of that in one box. And then you can get away with putting more grafts in that way.
I lost a colony today, by the way.
What size colony?
Okay, you know those burnt boxes I just did?
Yeah.
I took 10. I had taken, it was a weak 10 framer that I moved back to a 5 frame.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I went out there and it was gone. There was nothing but a few robber bees in there.
Remember, I tell you that was something wrong of why they were decreasing.
Yep. So
something was wrong with that colony.
So, well, maybe it's a good thing they called themselves. Right now, I can split a good colony back into them and let it roll.
Yeah, because there's no reason a good colony should be decreasing when the flow is coming on.
Yeah,
they should be going up and not down.
And that was one of the cutic queens that I had in there. So I don't know. They just were not doing well, and it is what it is. Play the numbers game. And now I have equipment open now. I can move some stuff in, right? So we can play the game a little bit.
Yeah, that's an extra 5 frame you can put on top of the
2
framers.
frames. I'm curious.
Get some cone out.
I haven't watched that video, so I need to watch it. Who's got that video that has like 2 5s underneath the 10?
Ian Stepler has some of those.
And
yeah, he has a bunch.
I'm confused though, because if you've got 2 queens in there,
he puts 3. That it's more than just 2 5s. There's 3 nukes. I forgot how it is, how he has, or maybe, but there's like 3 nukes together on a setup that he does.
I have to look at it because I understand the principle that the worker bees are going to go up top and draw that all out, and they kind of share resources and everything. But like with 2 frame nukes, right, there's not that many bees in it to begin with. Yeah. So once they pack out, if you put that box on top, then the bees just kind of, well, this colony's got food in it and we don't have that much food. They just go over to the other side and then come back. I mean, or do they just go wherever? It doesn't matter.
As long as the queens are locked down to their 2 sides, I mean, it shouldn't matter.
Yeah, because the workers will intermingle. But from one of the videos that I watched him with his nukes, mostly the stronger hive will go straight up first. They won't build out evenly over the 10 frame. They'll just keep on going straight up over their brood nest.
And then both sides just kind of work straight up and they don't even intermingle.
He said if one side is weaker, it'll be less on one side as they go up until they reach the top of that where they can't go up anymore. Then they start moving over.
Oh, 3-frame nukes, three frame nukes to fit under a 10 frame. Well,
maybe that's what I saw.
Rich, what we figured out today on my live video is that a 5-frame nuke will fit over 2-frame nukes. So we're going to try it on a smaller scale. If the 2-frame nukes get too packed, I'll just throw a 5-framer on top of it with a queen excluder and let them work up into the 5-frame and draw that comb out. But, you know, that's the beauty about having 30 2-frame nukes, right? So I can get 30 frames drawn out at one time just by having an extra frame in each one of them. So we'll see. We'll see. You know, and I'll be the first one to tell you, I might have gone too hard this year. We'll see. Yeah. Now I'm hoping that I can get these 2-framers to take off and draw some brood so I can start, you know, if I could go out there and pull 3 frames of brood 10 times, then I got 10 colonies that I can just pack, you know.
Mm-hmm. That, or you can make splits with them, pull a frame out of each one, throw that into a new 5-frame box.
Now, and think about if somebody wants a nuke, right? You can just go out there and pull 3 frames of brood out of 3 different colonies, put them in a nuke, 2 food frames, queen, done. So
okay, so I'm thinking, why can't I go out and take 2 frames with young enough eggs on it to put in this ice cream hive that has a divider to turn it into 2 5-framers and the queen excluder, and let them just go ahead and make their own queen in each side.
You can do a walkway splits. You could take a frame. The thing is that if you don't have hive beetles up there, you can do probably a little bit more than we can do over here because we got to keep that.
We got hive beetles.
The only thing I would worry about on that, you trying to build 2 queens at the same time. If one hatches out, you know, sometimes they do that little mate or war cry. Some of the bees may tear down another cell on the other side.
Yes, yeah.
Well, those Apame hives have a divider board in it that you can just turn to vent in the bottom, so the queens can't get to each other. And I believe they have a queen excluder in there, don't they?
Yeah.
How many colonies do you have, Rick?
Right now, 3.
3?
Yeah, 3. And I want to try to multiply them because the temperature's getting up to where at night the temperature gets down to in the 50s, high 50s, you know. So I think it's warm enough to keep the young warm, you know, and I don't want to cause less brood, you know, they're making. I want to cause them to keep doing what they're doing.
What you might consider is just pulling your queen with minimal bees to make up a small nuke out of one of your colonies, pulling her out, and leaving all the bees in the original location to go ahead and make cells. Once they make cells, you can go through and then split them in half at that point. And just, keep a few in each side. That way you've got all of your force working on those cells in the original box in the original location. Then you can split them up from there. I seem to get a little bit better take from that method versus pulling out just a minimal amount of bees and trying to let them build out the cells, in my experience.
Sounds like a stellar idea. Because basically what you're saying is they could possibly make up to 5 or 6 cells for a queen, and I can take those cells out and drop them in a nuke box. And if I got like 3 5-framers, 5-frame nukes, then all these smaller ones that are styrofoam, and I got a whole nother hive that I can split in half So I mean, I have space to double the amount of bees I have, and that's what I want to do. Hopefully, get done this summer. But that idea that you said, that sounds stellar.
Y'all quit talking about him. He's back.
I don't
Yeah,
give
so
a
and basically you want to time that roughly to where you're pulling those frames to go make up your mating nukes. You want to do that about on like day 10.
Yeah.
Basically, you want I guess you probably know this. You before you start moving cells around, if you can help it, you want the queen's wings to be developed to a stage where you're not going to injure moving them around. But other than that, I mean, you should be good to go.
Yeah, I mean, if they lay a bunch of cells, you should be able to take the cell and just put in it with the young bees, and they'll keep the hive going while she goes out and gets mated.
Yep.
That sounds like that sounds like the best plan. Thank you for that.
I have problems here with queens coming back because we got a lot of dragonflies down here.
When I got to my number 4 yard today, I had dragonflies sitting on top of just about every hive there.
You got a lot of water around you? Well,
Me?
you do. Lee does.
I do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm probably I'm about a quarter of a mile from one of our bigger rivers here in my area.
We got a lot of ponds and swamp, all kinds of stuff around here too.
I got to drive about 15 minutes, and I can catch any fish, any freshwater fish that's known to survive in America. This is a great place to live. If you like fishing, this is a good place to live.
I grew up in the Midwest, Iowa, actually. Well, I say grew up. I mean, I moved when I was 10 to Germany, but.
Did you serve with a guy named Kevin Hoovler?
Did I? No.
Never heard of him?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Well, he owns a company up here called The Reef. Does saltwater and freshwater fish. But
right.
You, Bob, you remind me of him so much.
Oh, I do? Did you hear my cats going at it in there?
Yeah.
I was like, what the hell? Yeah, I got 2 cats and they don't like each other. Sorry about that, guys. So, did you post this up? Probably did. So it says, yes, what William is talking about, Rick, suggests you watch a video from Gus Mitchell on his flyaway split method.
Okay. Mitchell, okay.
Used equipment taboo. I've bought some used equipment.
Pretty much all of my equipment's used. That's why it looks old as sin in my videos. A lot of it's got wax moth damage or whatever, but I'm on a budget.
I mean, it would depend on if it was a dead out, what they died from, or what have you. But I mean, I personally don't see no problem with it.
If you're worried about it, I don't know about the wax. Used wax, I usually go ahead and scrape out, just because I don't know what any chemicals or anything that might have been in the wax. But like used boxes, if you're worried about those, you can just take bleach water and spray it in there and leave them outside and let it air out. And bleach will kill anything that's in it. So
I mean, just check your local regulations also, because some places do regulate if you can have used equipment or not. And I believe Tennessee, Cayman's talked about it before. They can't sell used equipment or buy used equipment there unless it has bees in it already. Like if you're buying a nuke.
I guess that's their way of saying if bees are alive in it, then there can't be too much wrong with it.
Keep from spreading any diseases.
Over here, they say you should torch them.
Say that
torch
again.
them?
Torch them inside.
Yeah.
Yeah, the heat will kill anything in it.
Yeah.
Let me see. I'm gonna search for bees on Craigslist, see if there's anything going over there. Hey, my queens are on Craigslist.
Was that a plug?
No. And I see Craig Branch has some stuff from nearby areas for me. I was just, when you started talking about used equipment, Craigslist is a pretty good spot to look.
I
But
bought a pallet of stuff from an auction, and the old man that was selling it was there, and he was just downsizing and getting really old. So in a case like that, I'll risk it. I assume it doesn't, somebody didn't just quit because their stuff's all diseased out. He's, it's just used equipment.
And some
So
people,
Larry, you can't bring in any comb from outside areas, or how do they do that for a nuke, or you got to buy packages?
Alabama he's in Mississippi, but Alabama, he says, has a no comb law, so you can't buy comb, I guess. But that this goes back to what we were talking about last night. People selling bees just like crazy cheap,
To me, if it's crazy cheap, I would be kind of wary and want to know why they're so cheap.
They say they have a 5-frame deep nuke for $160, a 10-frame medium for $160, or both for $300. So
I mean, if it's somebody just getting out of it, just trying to get rid of their equipment, that would be one thing. But if they're like selling packages or nukes like that all the time, I would be worried.
Let me see. I'm trying to see nukes for $165 a piece, or sell the larger 10 or 20 frame colonies. If you need the equipment, we can negotiate. All right, I wonder if they're just getting out of it.
I guess Alabama's pretty strict on anything with bees.
It's illegal to transport bees through Alabama. Well, how do they get them from Georgia to California? They don't go through Alabama.
I guess they'll have to go around.
They wear masks.
They make them wear masks. That's crazy. Or what about when they leave Alabama and they go to California or whatever and come back into Alabama? Package bees only. I've never bought a package. I've only ever bought a nuke.
I've heard good and bad about it because, like you're saying, they don't want to sell comb.
Right.
Some people prefer to get a package and you don't have to worry about any infected comb. They're going to build their own new stuff. But to me, it does put them behind just a little bit.
Let me see. But it'd be nice to have them drawing up some fresh comb. Yeah, not many bees on YouTube. Not many bees on Craigslist over here. And they got 185 nukes. See, the thing is with my area, to get these cheap nukes, you have to drive to get them, right? You're not going to just, I live near the capital city. You're not going to just pop over and get a cheap nuke where I live. You got to drive out to the country to get them. Some people don't mind to save a little bit of money, but with as much as gas is and time, it's a little bit more expensive where I'm at. So
that's where I'm at. It's in the country.
I'm on the outskirts of the city, but it is country out here, pretty much. But
it's hard to imagine.
I'm in the sticks. I would say where the hoot owls do the chickens. There you go.
What were you saying, William? It's hard to imagine.
No, I was saying it's hard to imagine selling a nuke for less than 165. I don't know how you can do it.
Well, hell, the 5 frames in there cost you $25, right?
Even if you buy in bulk, you know what I mean? Like the cheapest you could probably get those frames down to would be like $18 just for the frames, and you're selling these frames that have drawn wax on them. You know what I mean? And so you have to assume, you know what I mean, what it took your colony to produce that. The colony you're now selling, you know what I mean? Like at some point, see, Mississippi, they're 150. I don't know, man.
See, last year they were 150 here. This year they went up to 165.
Mine are 150.
That's wild. It's like at some point you got to just like wouldn't it be better just to make honey with that hive? You know what I mean? I know you can't. Not everyone can manage an infinite amount of bees, but it's like for me I gotta be selling them high enough to where it's like it's worth not having that colony to expand and then produce honey from.
It's $200 here. I mean,
You need to start shipping to the UK.
Even if you put them in,
you won't get a nuke over here for less than $300.
Yeah.
Well, think about this. Yeah. So let's assume that you grow that nuke out to make honey with, right? And let's assume it's a garbage colony and it only brings you in like 40 pounds of honey or something. And some states have low averages, like 55 pounds per colony or whatever. Mm-hmm. Well, you can make more money off the honey than you could selling that nuke.
Yeah, but it depends what.
I know there's more labor involved, but
like local apiary right here by me, they have over 500 hives, and it's a retired couple. It's an older couple, and their son is the only one that handle over 500 hives.
Oh,
and they don't want to get no bigger, so what they do, they just sell off the nukes.
Yeah, you got to, I guess, at some point.
Yeah, and that's basically why I'm selling, because I had started out with 16 at the beginning of the year. Now I'm up to 30, and I don't want it anymore. And I took all my swarm cells, put them in some nukes, and that's basically all the work I have in them is just taking a frame of bees and a swarm cell and putting them in there, and they just multiplied on their own. So I mean, all the nukes I have,
that's a good point.
Of course, are just $150, hardly no work in them.
The logic I'm using is maximizing the amount of money you can get off them, but that's not necessarily the best way to look at it for each individual person, I guess.
Yeah, it's all.
It depends on how many you can manage by yourself, or if you just want to stay at a certain number.
Well, I mean, I'm not in a big nuke business, right? So the thing is with the nuke, it's population control, right? We're keeping our colonies at a level where they're not trying to swarm, and reimbursing yourself. I mean, if you look at the nuke, so we figured how much we figure for frames, $20 if you can get them at bone. If you're buying them by the pallet, $20. Then you got a pro nuke, that's $20. So you're in $40. If you bought a queen, if you didn't have a raised queen to replace that queen, it's $40, right? So now you're in $80.
Okay, but that's your situation.
Well,
look at my situation. I'm in it no queen because I use a swarm cell.
Right.
Okay. I have a $7.95 wax cardboard nuke. So so far I'm in it $7.95 and 5 frames, 5 empty frames, not even drawn frames. I start out I think back one drawn frame that I got the
Oh, he froze up. See, that's what happens. If you sold your nukes higher, you'd be able to get better internet.
Huh?
I said if you sold your nukes higher, you'd be able to get better internet.
It's my family. They sucking all the internet power down with their computers.
Netflix and Xboxes.
Yeah, watching films.
They don't want it. I don't know why we have cable. They don't watch cable no more.
Yeah, so I mean, selling nukes, like I've only sold 4. But if my thing is, I'm not trying to gouge people. I'm just trying to sell what everybody else is selling for. If they're selling for $185, yeah, I'll sell it for $185. But if you can't go and buy a nuke from Blythewood Bee Company less than $200, then why would you cut $35 of your own profit out? Because they're not going to find them anywhere cheaper.
Yeah. Well, see, that's the problem here. There's in our parish, there are so many beekeepers, big beekeepers. I'm not talking about like me. I'm talking about big beekeepers with thousands of hives. And they sell all their nukes and packages so cheap that, because they're just trying to get rid of them, that it's hard to compete with them, because the people around here who want to buy packages and nukes, At one time, they were selling packages a year or two ago, $90 for a package.
Just trying to keep their bees from swarming out.
Yeah, I mean, they were selling packages for $90 and nukes for $140. So
Well,
I mean, you can't compete with them.
Brad, how far are you from Sicily Island? Harrisonburg and all that.
2 hours, I think.
Okay. I got family all up in that area.
Okay. But yeah, it's hard to compete. So when I put them on the internet at the beginning for 165, nobody was hitting on it. Nobody was calling or anything because all the other guys are selling theirs at 150 or 140.
Right. Well, I mean, I get, honestly, if somebody called me tomorrow and said, "Hey, I want to pick up 10 nukes on Sunday," I could make them 10 nukes, no problem, right?
Mm-hmm.
35 colonies. You take a frame of cap brood out of 3 of them, out of each colony. That's 10 nukes. But it's like, there's work involved, right? There's time. There's equipment. There's the shipping you've paid. Everything's going up, and it gets to a point to where, like you said, you can make that much money on the honey off the colony. So if you get 55 pounds of honey off a colony, that's $550. So why would you sell a nuke that you could put into a tin frame and make 550 and sell it for 150? I mean, it gets to the point to where it's like, unless you just, like you said, you just didn't want to go past where you're at, then borderline.
In my area, you can sell them for higher than 150 because everybody else is. So I guess it is situational on where you're at.
Yeah, I'd love to sell them for more, but they're just not going to sell.
Right. I gotcha. Yeah, I mean, and I've kind of got that, relationship with Blythewood Bee Company now. I buy pretty much most everything I get from them, right? So when I go there and I tell them I've got queens, then when someone calls them for a queen, they give my number out. Or, Joshua, I would go over to them and say, "Hey, just don't jar it up. Just put it in a 5-gallon pail and I'll come buy all of it from you."
Now you got to look good if it's a Beekeeper. Are they selling that as wholesale versus retail? Because the apiary up the road from me, theirs is running $200 for a 5-gallon bucket, so it comes out to about $3.33 a pound.
I'd buy every bit of it.
And then you turn around and you retail that for $9, $10, $11 a pound.
Buy every bit of it.
You got a loop on there.
But when you're looking at $3 a pound and you could sell it for $10 a pound, that's over doubling your money every time you sell it. That's tripling your money just about.
It just depends, like you were saying, though, if you want to get out there and keep managing that many bees until harvest time and then having to harvest all that honey and then place it, store it, or if you're just wanting to keep enough for yourself and get rid of the extra bees.
Yeah, it definitely does depend on your location.
Yeah, and with all the bee companies around here, I mean, they got the I don't know if you've ever heard of them, the Evergreen Honey Company. They're one of the biggest ones in the South. They have apiaries throughout Mississippi, Alabama, Florida, but they're based out of right here in Avals Parish. And they sell honey dirt cheap because they're doing it on a commercial scale. So the local people go buy it for $3, $4 a pound. So it's hard to sell honey.
That's crazy. Well, why now? If they're going to sell it for $3 a pound, why aren't they selling it to somebody like Bob Binney, where they can just sell it all at one go and be done with it?
Well, no, they're bigger than him. So I'm talking about their little local branch that they have here.
Right.
they have so much honey that they just, for people in the parish, they'll just sell it,
Basically, give it to them.
Yeah. I mean, it's
they're probably selling it on the stock market.
That's
They're so big.
Yeah, I mean, they have thousands of hives. And like I said, they're all over the lower south.
They got over 2,500 hives.
How much?
Over 2,500 hives.
Yeah.
They're up near Bunkie, Louisiana, on 549.
Hey, I'll tell you what. I mean, if you can, and it's got to be your market. So if I could drive to Louisiana and buy Louisiana honey cheap.
Hey, let me rephrase that. It wasn't 2,500. That was in 98. They increased from 850 hives to 2,500. Now they have over 30,000 hives in 300 locations.
Yeah.
It's a lot of hives.
They're huge.
And they're the ones keeping y'all's market down.
Yeah.
That's Louisiana operations.
And I would say they're probably keeping your nuke market down too.
Yeah. Because they have a huge nuke sale one time of the year, early in the spring.
Right.
And I mean, everybody goes get nukes from them. So, I mean.
And I wonder how much their nukes are when they sell them.
The only thing, when you get I think, like just me personally, when you get a nuke from them, it's not going to be as good of a nuke as what I've got, because my queens, the nuke you get is their bees are their bees,
Right.
The queen's bees. It's not taking a bunch of frames and then making a nuke and dropping a queen in it. Like the ones they come get here, those are her bees, there's no releasing the queen. You're just getting it in. What you see is what she's laid and what she's raised.
Right. Yeah, that's what my nuke, like the last ones that I sold. I made those nukes and put a queen in it, but by the time those nukes were sold, she had been in there for a month laying it up, and working it. So same thing.
That Evergreen company, they produce over 50,000 queens a year.
You probably can get cheap queens too.
They showing queens mated Northeast pickup $45. They start at $45 a piece. Mated queen summer is $30.
I'm selling mine too cheap.
$34 a piece.
I'm selling mine too cheap then. If they're selling for $45 plus shipping probably.
And that's VS8.
There's a big market for queens in my area. I mean, I see people posting all the time looking for queens.
Well, you should do the business model I had, where I was just put some money into it, bought a bunch of them, put the advertising out there, and then just let them come roll to you to pick them up.
The guy that I bought my queens from last year to do some splits, he sold them to me for $20 a queen.
Were they good queens?
Yeah, they were good queens. And you can see he's only like 5 miles away from my house. And he has some little, you ever seen the little double nuke queen wearing boxes?
Mm-hmm. I've got
he
one.
He has maybe 100 to 150 of those in some trees right along the highway, and you can see him out there working them all the time. And so they're not coming out of big hives, but he must have a good set of genetics, because the queens that I bought from him last year, those are the ones that I have that are actually like 6 and 7 supers high right now. Not supers, 6 and 7 boxes altogether. 2 broods, 2 deep brood boxes, and 5 supers on them.
I've seen that frame. Buddy of mine has one of them. Rick, how much did that frame cost you?
I can't remember. It's probably at least $20.
It's the shipping on that. The shipping on that 55-gallon drum. I mean, how many? 55 gallons. That's
about 660 pounds. Roundabout. The apiary up the road from it, they sell a 55-gallon drum for $1,200. That comes out to $1.81 a pound.
Get you a CDL, Bob. Well, have you seen what they sell bees coming off of almonds over there in California? I mean, you can
dirt cheap.
Oh, dirt cheap. You can get full hives for like $170 a piece with the pallet.
I was talking to Jose. Jose's like, how much are nukes in your area? I said $200. He says, I can send you all the bees you want if you want to split them up and make it into make them into nukes and sell them coming off the almonds. So
I seen some of them they were trying to sell. I was like, man, that's tempting to get a truck and go down there, you know what I mean?
Right. I mean, you're figuring he was saying it was like $4,000 to ship colonies across
$4 a mile.
$4 a mile.
Yeah, for a truck. If you had to hire a truck, he said it was $4 a mile.
Makes sense, especially right now.
That's crazy. It's probably going to go up too, everything.
But how many colonies you fit on a load, though? I mean, what?
408.
I say if there's
10 frames and 456 8 frames.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy. But if you can do it, if you got the land to be able to split them up and the money to buy the nuke boxes to put them in.
Yeah, you obviously have to buy enough of them because then you get your shipping down to, $10 a colony or something,
Lee, how are you gonna sell your honey?
I do it at the farmer's market right here by me, about 3 miles down the road, and then I have it in 2 local stores here by me.
Oh, okay. Do you do good in the stores?
I got one store calls me about every 2 weeks for another case or two, and then one down the road about every week or so for another case. They're about the same, but they just little bitty country stores.
Yeah. How about at the market? You do good at the market?
Sometimes I've sold anywhere from 2 cases up to 6 cases at one day. And we're down there for 5 hours from 8 in the morning till 1.
And you sell it for $9 a pound, right?
Yeah, $9 a pound I'll go for.
They're starting to do some farmers markets around here. And I was thinking about, I've never sold honey at a farmer's market, so I didn't know.
Just have your labels checked. You got to make sure you got, for us in Louisiana, you got to make sure you have the word honey on it and have all contact information, name, address, telephone number. And then you have to have you have to have ounces and grams on it. Or you can have 1 pound and then your grams, but you have to have the grams mark on it.
Okay.
If you look on Louisiana's website, you can look under Louisiana Cottage Law. And then it'll go down to the honey section, and they'll tell you everything you got to have.
Okay.
Yeah, a better question, Larry Gandy, is what if the bees die? There's a reason why people aren't going and getting them. You know what I mean? There's a whole lot of risk and there's a whole lot of investment in it. I was just planning on just talking about the numbers.
Yeah, and if you can't sell the bees, then you got a bunch of bees.
You got to hope they survive. You got to send them back over there for the brokerage.
Well, I think you'd have to do a. I think you would have to do a list, a pre-list, right? Order ahead of time, so you'd know how many you would need to get to make the nukes that you need.
What was Jose saying the other night? It's like 200 and some change per hive for the time they out there pollinating, but then your brokerage fee and your transportation fee and all that comes out of it also.
Which I think he said you pay for them to get out there and they pay for them to get back.
I don't remember exactly how he stated that, but
so
I'm sure there's slight variations.
I think he's still coming out 150 plus per hive.
12 pounds, $45. A gallon for $45?
Damn.
That's
like
cheap.
if I do a little bulk sale, I've sold a couple of gallons for $50 a gallon. Which I mean, if you look at retail price, that's fairly low. But it was 1 container that I sold it in, so I didn't have the multiple jars.
Right.
Yeah. How about a 5-gallon bucket? What would you sell that?
That I really hadn't even thought about. I hadn't got to that scale yet.
I won't
produce that much just to sell it at wholesale. Around here, it's going for $200 a bucket, though, is what I can buy it for if I got to.
Because see, I didn't get in. Last year was the first year I made a lot of honey, and I started selling some of it, and I didn't really get into really advertising or anything like that. And I still got 2 5-gallon buckets. They're crystallized, but they're 2 full 5-gallon buckets. Because I
Find
don't
you
have
an
a
old
warmer. I
freezer
need
and
to
put
put
you
a
a
warmer.
warming lamp in it.
Huh?
Find you an old freezer and put you a warming lamp in it.
Yeah, I finally found me one. It's an old refrigerator, but I was gonna make the bottom section into a warmer.
Yeah. I got an upright freezer that I got from the cafe down the road from me. And I just tore the guts out, drilled me a hole, put a cord going into a plug.
Mm-hmm.
I plugged my lamp in inside it, and then my thermal controller is on top.
What kind of controller you use?
That I don't remember offhand, but I can pull that up.
I've seen the kind that you can actually like plug something in a controller, like just a regular outlet plug, and it's a digital one, and it has a little sensor on it.
I think that's kind of like what Lee's got.
You can actually like do 2 lights, like have 2 stages of heat.
I think is it Yardbird is a company that makes those controllers? Is that right? Or
Inkbird is the one that Charlie uses. This is the one that I bought.
Oh, okay, that's pretty neat.
It's $28, but you program it to say I want to keep my honey at 98 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
I would set the lower temperature at 94, 95, and the upper temperature at like 101. That way, it reaches 101, it'll turn off. When it gets down to 94, the light turns back on.
What size bulb do you have in there?
I think it's one of the 200-watt heating lamps, like for a chicken incubator.
Oh, okay.
It'll turn on for just a couple minutes. Then the thermal sensor will catch the temperature, and it'll cut right back out.
Do you have a little circulating fan or anything?
Yeah, I got a little USB 5-volt fan in there. I put it in the top and aim it down. That way, when the hot air rises, it blows that warm air down and just kind of creates circulation in it.
Oh, okay.
I'm thinking like hillbilly beekeeper. Why don't you just put it in a trash bag and set it out in the sun?
It's depending on how much you're trying to decrystallize at a time. If you got a couple of 5-gallon buckets you can throw in there, or sometimes what I'll do, I'll go ahead and bottle up 5, 6, 7 cases, and I'll put them in there and just keep them at 90 degrees just to keep them warm for the following weekend for the farmers market.
I have what I did, because I have some people who had wanted some honey and I didn't have no way to do it. I have a smoker that I never even hardly used, and it has a temperature controller on it, and I would set it for like 105 degrees, but it only lets you time out for 24 hours. That's the longest you can set it for. Mm-hmm. So if I didn't remember, then because it takes like 3 to 5 days to decrystallize a whole 5-gallon bucket.
Yeah.
So that's the only problem with it. You have to go back and reset it and reset it and reset it. So that's why I got this refrigerator, and I'm gonna get me a timer with like what you got, the setup you got.
I just dropped a link in the comments to that controller.
Oh, okay,
and
good.
Then I have a wireless thermometer also, and I put one of those transmitters inside the freezer, and I keep one in the house because my warmer's next door in storage.
Okay.
But it'll relay the temperature into my kitchen for me. I got it sitting on my bar. That way I can walk in there, just make sure, hey, power hadn't went off, nothing's got unplugged, the bulb hadn't burned out.
The old man that I got a few hives from when I first started, a few, not hives, but the bodies, the supers and stuff, he would use an electric blanket.
I did that. Well, I used a heating pad. I had 2 heating pads on the 5-gallon pail, and I just bungee corded it around it. And it worked all right, but it didn't work that good. But now that I have my unbottling tank, I can just scoop crystallized honey into it and set the warmer and let it decrystallize.
Wait, your unbottling tank?
Is that an unclosed unbottling tank?
You mean you're not going to bottle the honey? You're going to take the honey out of the...
That's like these unclosed boxes.
That's what Phil just said. He said, is the unbottling tank unclosed?
It is unclosed. That's right. So you don't have a bottling tank, Brad?
No, I got a 3-frame extractor, and I got I used the buckets with the little
honey gate
orange,
on it.
orange honey gate.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah. I
Got
mean,
the
this
what
is this is my 4th year, and the first, like I said, the first 2 years I didn't hardly make anything because I lost bees. But last year I actually made 7 5-gallon buckets.
Lee, you need to do a video on the warmer, Mark said.
Yeah, I may have to do that.
How many hives did how many production colonies did you have, Brad?
For those
That made the 7?
I think I actually pulled out of I want to say it was 6 hives, 6 or 8, somewhere around there.
Well, that's good.
Mm-hmm. And I'm probably going to pull out of
His pullout game's strong.
maybe 12 this year.
Pulling out a lot more this year.
I'm trying to get 6 for this year.
Now, like the local apiary up the road from me, talking about this decrystallizing, they took, I'm figuring it's 6 foot by 6 foot wide and then about 5 foot tall, and they just built it out of plywood. And it has a metal rack underneath it that they can fit 2 55-gallon drums in at a time. And they got a couple of the warming lamps in there, and that's how they decrystallize theirs.
Yeah. Well, I have to do something because I bought these. If my wife wanted some of these little honey bears that you can put the honey in, looks, you know, with the little bottles that you see all the time with the, looks like a little bear.
Yeah.
Well, you can't just decrystallize those once you put them in there easy, unless you have
Put them in the microwave.
We've done that, but the
Melt
bottle,
the bear down.
The bottle melt.
wherever there's no honey, wherever the air gap is at in that bottle's going to shrink.
Yeah. And then you'll also kill some of the good enzymes in your honey when you microwave it.
Brad, you got a chicken incubator?
Yeah.
That's what I'm using for my bottles when they start crystallizing. I just put them in the chicken incubator. Take the rotator out, just set them in there, set the temperature, and just forget about them. So you're ready.
That's a good idea.
Let's see. You have to.
My wife set a couple of them on top of her car the other day.
That's my bottling tank over there. It's just a 16-gallon max set with a no drip valve or 1 drip valve.
Yeah, I want to get me a 16-gallon. That's my next purchase.
I want to buy a second one because I like keeping my light colored honey separate from my dark honey. So I want a bottling tank for each one. That way,
I didn't realize when I heard you talking about that, the 2 different honeys that we have here in Louisiana. Because I always just pull the honey off around the 1st of July to the middle of July, somewhere around there, and it just all gets mixed together. But I pulled a frame out that was capped during the week, and I tasted it because it was almost clear.
Sweet,
I tasted it. It was sweet.
A lot of privet.
Yeah, that was some really sweet and clear honey. Because the
my
tallow
lady
is
prefers,
dark.
Tallow will get more of an amber, or a medium to darker amber, and then your goldenrod is almost black.
Yeah, and the tallow is a little bit stronger flavor. It's really good, but this privet was really, really light.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see
You can
what
look
I
at
get out
the capping too to see the difference. You'll have almost a white capping versus a darker capping for tallow, and then you'll have almost a yellow capping on goldenrod.
Yeah. See, I've never pulled the goldenrod. I've always just left it in the hive.
Well, I couldn't pull it last year because we had very little goldenrod here last year. Now this year, I think we're gonna have a lot more. We've already got shoots popping up out the ground for goldenrod.
So you guys have seen this crystallized honey, right?
Yeah.
This jar was just like it, but this one's been in my chicken egg incubator.
Oh, okay.
So
that's pretty good.
It'll clear it right up.
What temperature you use?
It's set at 109 or 105, something like that.
That's what I was setting that warmer at 105.
Now I noticed the glass ones clear up a lot quicker than the plastic ones do. So if
Yeah,
you got plastic jars and glass jars, the glass will warm up and clear up
it'll
quicker.
transfer heat.
Yep. And the plastic takes a little bit longer, and you gotta, rotate it and stuff every once in a while. But yeah,
I think we
that's
got the back feed or something there, William.
I don't think it's mine because I'll mute myself.
Sounds like a train going
Yeah, it
past.
disappeared then.
Yeah, it's you, William. Did you?
Well, you guys have to keep talking, or I won't be able to tell if I can hear it or not.
No.
Something in the background. I don't know what you got there, but it's getting, I don't know, some weird noise.
I don't know. Earlier I had it muted for a long time, and I could still hear it the whole time.
It sounded like a train earlier.
Yeah, it did, yeah.
Oh, well, that might be the AC unit, actually, then.
Your AC sounds like a train?
Well,
maybe he has a train AC.
Yeah.
Did it have a whistle? No.
Woo woo.
That I don't know.
Nothing stops a train.
Yeah, I'm not hearing it right now.
One of the advantages they say on the Flow Hive is you can extract each frame, and it has a different flavor for each. They say the bees only put one flavor into each frame, so that's what I'm looking forward to.
That'd be cool. You're gonna have to do a little video on that. Extract each frame separate bottle.
Yeah.
That way we can see the different colors.
I haven't done it yet.
yet?
No, not yet. No. I'm probably not this year, but
This is honey from the mean hive from last year. This was 100 stings worth of honey.
Wait, that's honey you just extracted?
No, this is honey from last. This is the thing. This guy's honey does not crystallize. This is from last fall.
Really?
Yep.
That's amazing.
And he filled this up for me. He's like, here, and we swapped bottles.
I've
So
heard.
he harvested that last summer.
Mm-hmm.
I heard that they found honey in the tomb of the pharaohs that was still liquid.
I seen some that they was showing was crystallized. I hadn't seen the liquid, but I might have to try to look that
yeah,
one
they
up.
reckon Tutankhamun's tomb.
They said they didn't suggest eating it though.
Well,
Really?
You might get that pharaoh curse.
I don't know, man. There's people out there who still want to take a taste, just a little finger taste.
I would.
That's what I was thinking. I'd
There you
have
go.
to.
Lee ate Swarm Commander, so I mean,
Yeah.
he'll eat anything.
3,000-year-old honey would be good compared to Swarm Commander.
You
It
might
works.
have that mummy,
It just don't taste good.
break out on you.
Yeah. Swarm Commander works. Believe me, it does work, but it don't taste good.
But the thing is, if like that Lyson the Lyson tank that I have,
Mm-hmm.
you can put 3 5-gallon pails in there at a time
Mhm.
and leave it warm. So, I mean, do you ever need more than that? You know what I mean? At our scale, I'm just saying at our scale. Obviously, there's people that got a lot more hives than we do, right? So
Yeah,
I'm just saying at what we got, are you ever going to be bottling more than 5 gallons at a time? 5-10 gallons at a time?
So right now, I'm doubting it.
So if it crystallizes in the barrel, and Lee's going to the farmer's market on Saturday, if he went when he got back or Saturday and scooped a bucket of crystallized honey into the warmer, by next time he's bottling, it's clear.
Yeah.
Usually
what I'll do, I'll put it in my warmer if it's crystallized in my bottling tank, and I'll warm it up for about 2 days. And then I actually open the valve, drain it back into a 5-gallon bucket through the little mesh strainer just to
get
catch
any
any
chunks.
extra wax. And then I pour it back into the bottling tank again. And then let it set for a day, and then I'll actually bottle it.
Well, where does the wax come from?
Just from the honey. If it all didn't come out the first time.
Oh.
Because I run it through a 400 micron strainer and then a 200 micron strainer.
I usually
that double strainer that fits on a 5-gallon bucket.
I bought a few of them. Usually they're a 600 micron, and then I think a 400 micron.
See, that's all I use.
You're looking $30 to $40 for them things.
Yeah.
You can go on Man Lake and get the plastic ones. They still fit the 5-gallon bucket, but they're $6.
Are they strong?
Yeah, they're fairly strong. I mean, I'll take a 5-gallon bucket and just pour it over in it, and it'll run right through.
Oh, okay.
But you can get them for like $6 on Man Lake.
What I also found out is after I ran it through like the metal strainer, like you do, Brad,
Mm-hmm.
I'll have a 5-gallon paint strainer in the bucket. So anything that goes through that strainer that gets caught in my 5-gallon pail, when I open up the honey gate, it was letting the honey come through the mesh out the gate. So it was catching anything else in there.
Oh, okay.
So just the idea.
I think I got my strainers next door. I'll have to get one of them out for a video one night.
But man, we've been 3 hours again. Look at that view time going up through the roof.
It depends on what I'm loading there, Mr. Paul. Sometimes I'll leave 8 or 10 gallons in my bottling tank, and I'll turn it down to about 80, 85 degrees. Just kind of keep it the temperature. It would probably be in a hive, maybe 90. And then the day that I'm going to bottle, if I'm going to bottle in the evening, that morning I'll turn it up to 90 or 95. And then by that evening, it's nice and warm and thin. It'll run through the valve a lot easier. Other than that, any extra I keep in 5-gallon buckets in storage next door. Now, if it crystallizes real hard, I will put it in my honey warmer for a couple of days and then put it into my bottling tank.
Now, Bob, your tank that you have, I know you said you have the heating element, no water jacket.
Mm-hmm.
What do you run your temperature at?
20, no, what was it? 30 something C. It's like 100 degrees.
Oh, okay.
Right at about 100.
35 C would be 95. 38 C would be 100.4.
Yeah, I think it's like 37 C, right around there that I'm running it at. That's the only drawback is for me right now is just doing the calculation on the Celsius to Fahrenheit.
Yeah.
But for the price of it, I mean, that
How
tank
much is yours?
for the pneumatic valve and the warmer, it's 18 gallons, costs $1,250. And Lee's
Together?
tank, yeah,
That's a total price?
total price. And then Lee's Lee's got is $1,450 from the same company.
It was
With,
for Maxent.
With your no drip valve?
Yeah.
So it's $200 cheaper to get 3 more gallons from Lyson and the pneumatic bottling thing. Now you can get that. I think it's like 1,100 or 1,000 something with the 1 drip valve.
Oh, okay.
This is the one I have right here.
Now the other thing is mine's not water jacketed, and I understand the whole principle behind the water jacketing, but at the same time, we're only heating it to 100 degrees. So you're not going to be scorching the honey at 100 degrees. So it's not like, you're going to damage the honey with using the element. So mine's got thicker walls than the water jacketed one too. I noticed because
Have you measured yours? We were talking about that the other day, and I forgot.
I'll go measure it right now. Hold on.
The thing that aggravated me about the bottling tank until the other day, whenever I take a 5-gallon bucket, you would pour it in. You always got that residue on the walls and the bottom, and you got to sit there and wait for it to drain.
Mm-hmm.
I was having to prop it in there, put a wooden spoon through the handle, and get it just right and balance up there. I've been waiting for 8 months for this thing to come back in stock. It better be. But you set that on the wall, and then you prop your
2
bucket.
inches.
Hose your bucket.
Yeah.
The
2
thing I
inches.
heard about Bob is, sorry.
Well, depending who you ask. If you ask Phil, that's 6 inches. but
I'll tell you.
it's 2 inches.
As they say over here, Bob, ask your wife.
Better Be is the only licensed equipment supplier. I think Blue Skies has some license, like I'm going to wear these. You'll see these in every beekeeping video from now on during the summer.
That Maxant 16 gallon, the wall is an inch and an eighth thick.
The anti-sting pants.
Inch and an eighth.
Sting pants.
Yeah.
And the license is 2 inches.
Well, I wonder why, being that the Max is a water jacket, why is it thinner than the one that's not a water jacket?
That I'm not sure.
I don't know, but it's now there are some things that I can't use that bucket thing that he uses, the bucket perch. They might have one for it, but I can't use that one that he's got. And when it's big enough around. Well,
because
no, he measured it. And it it won't fit. But the when you dump a 5-gallon pail, the problem that I have is that I can't use the perch, right? And it's big enough diameter round on the inside that the bucket won't just prop against the edge or something to where it'll hold in there. So that's the biggest thing.
Yeah. Inch and 13/32.
What's the
Now you could, if you had a little local welder around you, all you need is some stainless steel rod, and they can make you one.
Yeah, that wouldn't be too hard.
Let me see. What's Better Be? Honey harvesting.
TIG welded, dude. That's not regular welding. TIG welding's the specialty.
Yeah. Using a little bit of argon when you're doing the TIG.
Yeah.
Honey heaters, honey.
But it's like, it's like riding a motorcycle, or like it's like driving a car, or it's like you got a foot pedal. You're controlling the amount of current going to it.
Yeah, some of them they got the pedal, some of them you have a little knob. It's all different. What you looking for, Bob?
No, that tank that I've got is $989.95. So $990 for the tank. The Maxant, which is out of stock, conveniently enough. The Maxant is $14.50, and that runs on 110. And that's one thing when you're looking at the licensed equipment. You got to look if it's 230 or 110. How you got your electrical.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
now I believe some of the bigger Maxant ones, I think some of those were 220, 230.
Yeah, it probably depends on the size of the heating element.
Yeah. All it is basically just a hot water heater element.
Is it removable and replaceable?
Yeah.
So I mean, it's for what it is. I mean, I like.
Yeah, I'll say if it works and gets the job done, that's all you need.
I like I do like the bottling.
Is the element submerged? Is the element in the honey, or is it under the bottom plate?
For which one, the Maxant or the Lyson?
No, the license.
No, it's in the walls.
Yeah, it's got like heating pads, type of heating pads inside the
wall. In the walls. Well, that's why the walls are so thick then.
Yeah.
What was the other you call? Was the other one Fest or Matt?
Maxant.
Yeah.
That's one I got. It's got water jacketed wall, and the heating element is underneath the honey inside the water, and it just heats the water up and wraps around the honey.
See, Mac, they're known for their air valves. They make some of the best air valves.
Now I know Bob has a pneumatic air valve for his tank through Lyson right here.
Yeah. That thing, I love it. Now that I've used it a few times.
I don't know anything about that company.
They got some good stuff. A lot of it is what
Europe.
Is more European.
Mm-hmm. But the prices. Hey, I'm all about buying American-made equipment, but you know, the fact of the matter is they're expensive. They're just expensive, you know.
Yeah, Mr. Paul, the Maxant is showing temporarily out of stock steel right now.
And you saw that Maxant tank that Charlie tried to get. It took him a year.
Yeah, I think he got the same one I got, and it took a long time.
And so for me, they had it. The price was right, and you know, now pretty much everything I've got is licensed. So I'll be now, Lee, when I go to hook up the steamer.
What is that, Phil? Oh, that's your hives?
Flow hives.
It's time I was disappearing, guys. The lights starting to come up.
Daylight's coming out.
Yeah,
right,
daylight's
about
coming
7
out.
hours ahead of us.
Yeah, it's 4 a.m. here, so I am going to.
All right, brother. Well, we appreciate you hanging out with us.
Enjoy it again, guys, and talk to you soon.
All right. Have a good night. All right.
All the best. Good night.
Good night.
Night.
Yeah, I think I've got to hop off here too as well. I got to get up early and get to work. So
I got to get up early because I have a feeling that Ricky's not a kind of guy that's going to be late. If he says he's going to be somewhere at 8, I bet you he'll be here at 8.
He was on time when he come to the house here to bring me that hive.
So
if you're taking out for him, I want to say thank you. Thank you for that suggestion. I'm going to do that.
Oh yeah, for sure, Rick. I enjoyed meeting you.
Yeah, nice to meet you too.
And thanks for having me on, Lee and Bob, and nice talking with you, Brad.
Yes.
I'll see you guys next time I've got decent internet.
All right.
Hey, y'all have a good evening.
All right, we'll see you later. So yeah, that's kind of the thing, you know, with the licensed equipment. The price was right, and it works for me. You know, I'm not super huge. I don't have deep pockets. I just wanted to get something that was good for what I was doing, and not that many people have that pneumatic valve. But when Betterby said that's what we use to jar our honey up, I'm like, all right, well, send it to me. We'll do it.
I think once you fix you a little platform where your bottle is going to fit in a V.
Right.
Not talk about where you can just slide that bottle in that V.
And it's always in the right spot.
It's always in the right spot. And you just keep on, you have 2 hands on bottles and not on a valve.
Right. You can just hand it off and fill one.
Yeah.
And let somebody else screw a cap on it.
Yeah, you could be having one hand, grabbing the next one, putting it there, and I think once you get set up, it's gonna be quick.
I did a couple weeks ago, I did like 8 cases of honey in like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Literally just stepping on it.
And that's just holding it there.
Yep.
So once you get your little table set up with a platform where you can just slide that, I think it'd be awesome.
Be a champ. So
you can hook it up to a PLC and have it automatic where the sensor sees the bottle come in front of the.
Yeah, it has a little switch.
Yep, and it automatically dispenses the right amount.
Yeah, one day I want to get that wheel, but you know,
Mr. Ed had a bottling thing that I think that's automatic. It was like a cylinder that he adjusted for whatever.
It's got a cylinder on top of it, and you got to pour the honey in the top, right?
Yeah, and you measured the amount of honey that you wanted to go in a jar. It put the same amount every time with this plunger.
Oh, really? I've seen those things. It's like a pneumatic thing that slides.
Yeah.
So
if you had a 12-ounce jar, you adjusted the cylinder for 12 ounces, and it would push that 12 ounces out every time.
There you
go. When it sucked back out, it was pulling out the cylinder.
I want this too.
This is the one that I'm wanting to get. It's got a laser eye in the back, basically, and when the jar rotates around under the nozzle, it'll automatically dispense whatever size bottle you have it programmed to drop.
And you just put bottles on the table, and it spins around and clicks the little thing and fills it up and comes out the other side.
You got a lot of farmers markets to go to.
Yep.
Well, if you think about it,
it's an overtime.
That's only 500 pounds of honey right there you got to sell.
Yeah.
500 pounds.
That's it. Well, more for you because you charge $9 a pound.
Yeah.
And it's a little over $5,000. So plus shipping, and you know how Better Bee is on shipping.
Oh my gosh.
My extraction thing come from Date Ant, but that was $214 just for shipping.
Yeah, don't get me started on the shipping, man, because I've paid $1,000 in shipping to get my equipment here. Everything that I bought, $1,000 easy. Dang. Now, here's what you need to do. You can save money. Everybody write notes down. Go to the IRS website and register your beekeeping business and get a tax number. And then you can send that tax number into like Better Bee, and they don't charge you tax on your equipment. Especially helpful when you're buying. I don't
want the government involved in my operations right now.
Yeah, but they don't know what you're collecting. They only know what you're spending at that point. At least I can say, look, I spent $6,000, $7,000 on equipment. You know, what can you do? So, all right, guys. Well, we've been going for 3 hours and 22 minutes, and it's 11:24 Eastern time. And
so you calling it?
I'm calling it.
All right. Well, y'all have a good night. Nice to meet you, Rick.
Yep, you too. Thanks, guys.
Thanks for coming, Rick. Brad, always a pleasure.
See you later, Bob.
And we'll see y'all later.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Good night.
Good night.
All right, Lee. So another beautiful episode. And we'll see how it goes. Yep. See how it goes on here on out.
More work this weekend.
Yeah, I got tons of work. I'm gonna see how much work I can get out of Ricky tomorrow. Or if he's
make sure you video it now.
Or if he's gonna want to just grab some queens and head back up to North Carolina. Well, I already know we're gonna have to find the queens. So I mean, he's only getting a couple.
And remember, it's a little bit harder because they're not marked.
I ain't worried about it. Ricky can find them like a champ.
Oh yeah,
sure. Well, I'm gonna have to put fondant in the cages. For me, the worst part is just getting the attendants to go in there when you've got the
you pick them up by the wings.
The attendants?
Yeah, just reach down behind them and grab them by the wings. You pick them up and you can put them straight into
put your finger over the hole. Hold the queen in, let it off, put one in, let it off, put one in.
Exactly.
Well, I'll tell you what I did the other day. I listened to you. I caught the queens. I snapped the little centerpiece out the JZBZ and put the attendants in. And then we took a little piece of tape. And put it over the hole. Mm-hmm. And sent them on their way.
Yep.
So, all right, guys. Well, everybody have a good evening, and we'll see you on the next episode. Please like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Good night.
Good night.